It's us! Hey, everyone! Hello! We are live!
Oh, hi. I was on delay. I was still watching the titles. Hi, everyone.
Oh, no!
Sasha realizing we are on stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Critical Drinking. We are 5 people who drink so that you don't have to, but if you would like to join in at any point, we do have drinking rules, which I'm sure Mod will share at some point. But tonight we're super excited because we're starting a new campaign!
Yay!
And as you can tell from the titles, we've really not pulled this together in a hurry at all. It's all been very slick and very professional in the way that you can highly expect. So I am going to go around and ask the players to introduce themselves. I am going to do it in terms of newness. So, first, our newest player, would you introduce yourself?
Buenas noches. No, that is not how we're doing this. So, for those of you who don't know me, most of you know me. I am Gestual, aka It's Dr. Bees, but as for Dread and Circuses today, I am Himbo the Clown. I am a Yuan-Ti pure-blood clown because I rolled fucking horribly. So what has been born is a nightmare incarnate. I'm also a sorcerer starting at the 5th level with Aberrant Mind as my background. So not only am I a nightmare to look at, I'm also a nightmare on the inside. This is what we want. But yeah, with that knowledge, it probably isn't a surprise that on my alignment roll, I also went sideways and I am neutral evil. So if nightmares weren't already real, they are now. On top of that, I have work tomorrow and I'm determined to turn up horribly hungover. So cheers.
Lasagna.
What are you getting horribly hungover on, Jess?
Presently beer, but depending on the amount of donations, subs, and streams tonight, this is Crystal Head vodka. I have close to a full bottle. I will drink the whole thing.
Guess who just got 5
I was about to say, Hooblu, you are an angel. Also, Grolixy, welcome. Thank you for the follow.
Hello, Grolixy.
All right.
Oh.
And Empty
girls,
Salad
we
and
drink 5
Pittsburgh
times.
Koala Bear. Also, thank you for being a friend before we were live. So, Jess.
Yes. Baldy.
Baldy, you're amazing as well.
Thanks, guys. I'm really glad that it is quarter past 7.
Jess has clearly not actually seen our streams when we've started these kinds of games because
Oh, good. Good for starting in order of newness. Like, oh,
So Crispy God.
5 more, Jess.
Thank you, Crispy
Jess,
God.
You're at 15, darling.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Christ.
Bottoms up, bottoms up.
That was a song.
Anya.
We're calling that
have
for the time being. For the time being.
Okay, I'm still 5 drinks behind. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Down it, down it, down it, and a hype train!
Oh shit!
Just to remind everyone, our drinking rules actually say that if we get a hype train, we have to finish whatever drink we're drinking.
Oh no!
Oh, okay. Okay.
They have to complete the hype train, and then we have to finish the drink. Which, considering that I know how much gin to tonic ratio in my drink, is a terrifying prospect. Anyway,
I could have learned that before this, but okay, that's fine. Oh god.
I also have gin and tonic if we keep going to the extent that I run out of this bottle of wine, which it is now looking likely.
A strong possibility. So with that,
Thank you
for the bits.
Oh, spoons. Welcome to Critical Drinking, Jen.
Buongiorno.
It's a very warm welcome.
Inferiority, Mike.
Lasagna, Sancho.
Completed level on the hype train.
Alright. By my estimation, that's about 7 shots. Fucking 5 minutes in. Yeah, no.
I can't wait. Level 4, shit. I was so wrong. It was immediately level 4, not level 1 hype train. Level 4 hype train.
What?
It's all fine. It's all fine.
Good God.
The second youngest streamer. Go for it before we get derailed any more than we have already.
Hi. I am Nacho. I've been part of Critical Drinking for a couple of months now, and I will be playing as Milton Bugles, who is a 5'4", blonde-haired, green-eyed Asimar, and he is an acrobat, an aerialist to be specific. And he is also a rogue, so he used to be part of the Thieves Guild until he wasn't anymore. So, I am drinking this vile concoction of Cointreau, Bacardi lime juice, and Pamplemousse Lacroix, because I have nothing else to mix it with. I literally have never played an Asimar before, so this should be interesting to say the least. And yeah, I'm always very happy to be here, so thank you for having me. And yeah, we're excited for the new campaign. Also, I'm wearing this 80s bomber jacket because it's gonna be like his uniform. Isn't it
I love it. I love it so much.
I look like a dance mom.
You do! It's so good.
Oh god.
You're a dance mom at heart.
I'm already big.
Huh?
What?
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
I was like,
Bye.
what?
What?
Hey!
Oh.
Are we still playing the Granny's game, huh? It's Wednesday, Muriel. It's the lasagna today.
How do you lose this thing?
Who?
Speaking of which, Emily.
Hi everybody. I'm Emily, and I am going to be playing Tyler McFootballson. Tyler is a golden dragonborn. Very frequently is just like running around shirtless and in cargo pants. I considered wearing a tube top, but I didn't want anyone to think that I was naked and have, report us. Tyler is the daredevil. He mostly does like a, balancing acts. Like he's a high wire kind of guy, like just, walking across tightrope shit. That's his jam. He's a barbarian. So there's that. As for drinking, I am the designated driver tonight because I have an audition after this for to be on a show that's on a network that a lot of people have access to. So I am freaking out. But yeah, that's why I'm drinking just soda today.
This is your warm up. find yourself going hip hop, hip hop. It's all fine. It's all
Don't
fine.
worry, guys. She'll take the 10 shots after her audition. It's fine. Great.
She's promised us records of it as well, so we're gonna have, you know.
Oh my god, I would love to be the 14th Doctor. Although I don't know. Would it be like lots of places have a Philadelphia as opposed to lots of places have a North? And thank you for the wishes to break a leg. I appreciate it. But yeah, so that's the thing. After the audition, my plan is to have a healthy glass of Fernet and watch that movie about Charles Manson with Matt Smith. That's my plan.
Oh, you know how to have fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Woo!
Oh my
Thank
god.
you for the
Five
sub.
more subs, bitches. Let's go.
I am already so full of soda. Jeez. Okay.
I can't blow through a bottle of vodka and 10. I can't. Not in my jeans. I can't.
Oh no.
Oh no, we just finished level 5 hype train, so down it, bitch.
Oh Jesus! All right.
This is a new beer. This is a new. Oh, fuck.
God, this is foul. It tastes like a lime puked in my mouth. It's
Oh.
Oh, no. Hydrate.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Nosmo, for the hydrate.
Thank you,
It's
Nosmo.
probably much needed. I mean, also that kind of like bottle of tonic that I bought to last the stream. Not doing so well, is it? And finally, the OG member of the crew, the mama of critical drinking, without whom we would not exist.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
Aww.
To be fair, there's been exactly 3 things. Nice eyeliner, nice tits, and then that. That's the history of your compliments to me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. I can't argue. Fine.
Hi everyone, I'm Sasha. You may know me from previous streams. I've been around. And for this campaign, oh boy, did I roll some shit. And like Nacho, I've never played any of this, so it's going to be very interesting. I am playing a knife-throwing tabaxi druid named Dancing Daggers, aka Dags, aka Blade Bay. And because, again, of the rolls and not choices, I have rolled chaotic evil.
Ooh.
So we're going to see how she sounds, but I'm kind of envisioning her a little bit like Snake. This is going to be very difficult to
I forgot to
maintain.
mention, but my character is lawful good and I'm a thief. Make it make sense.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, my character is chaotic neutral, so I guess he's just a dude.
Just your average.
We got chaotic evil, neutral evil.
Yep.
Chaotic neutral and 1 lawful good. There's going to be some interesting party dynamics, my friends. And we're in a circus, and look at Jess's face. I just feel like that's everything. The story doesn't even matter at this stage. The premise of this is fucking wild. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about her right now. But as usual, I am drinking, alas, I'm not in Georgia anymore, so it's no longer the hooch wine. It is now pretty solidly the Primitivo Italian imported wine. Yeah, it's just not as exciting.
I don't care if it's not in a recycled Coca-Cola bottle. I no longer care about what you're drinking. That's better. That's the shit we'll tune in for, Sasha.
Yes!
Make it make sense. Yes.
Oh god.
I love
going.
I
To
was
pee by any chance.
I was so stoked when Sasha asked me to be on this, and immediately, it's my wildest dreams come true. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me. and at the same time, Jesus fucking Christ. How are we alive? Cool.
It's fine. It's fine. You have 6 days to really get over it. For the next one. It's like pregnancy. You forget. It's over. You're just like, that was really good. Should we go again? Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that again. It's fine.
I mean, or getting a tattoo.
Yeah. Excellent. That's fine. Really,
Both are permanent.
It's like texting your ex when you're drunk. It's like
Medical drinking, like texting your ex when you're drunk.
Ooh.
Oh man. Also, have
man.
we posted the new drinking rules? I don't think I updated the Nightbot command because I'm afraid.
I tried
so
I tried to post the drinking rules and failed, so anyone else
I
can.
posted the old one. I posted the
that was
old
a bit
ones.
great.
I believe we have new ones as well. I'll find the link and post it in the chat.
Okay. All right. While you do that, I might move us into
warm.
actually playing some D&D.
The binge drinking and the laughing. I'm suddenly really warm.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sweaty. Just like
I thought this was a show where we just make weird jokes about Isaac Newton and get drunk. I didn't realize we were playing a game.
I know. Do you know what? There was a moment where I joined the D&D Beyond Discord and was like, they have an advertisement bit, and I have been like solidly advertising this for about a week, and I am now so scared that anyone has turned it off. And they're like,
What have you
26
advertised it
minutes.
as? What is the pitch line that you have used?
Oh, I think where I went wrong was come and see some people play some really legitimate, rules secure D&D.
Sarah, please.
Yeah, if you are here from the D&D Beyond Discord, please tell us immediately in the chat. Also, you have been lied to. It's fine. Just go with it. Enjoy.
I mean, anyone who has joined the D&D Beyond, I literally only read the Dungeon Master's Handbook last weekend. I've been doing D&D GMing for a year.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense.
Christ.
And then I didn't understand the handbook, so I bought DMing for Dummies, and it was all good. Great. It's all fine. Anyway, I can maybe recommend it. So if everyone is ready, and does anyone need to leave?
It's fun, lads. Off to bed.
Yeah.
28 minutes is
Drank
long
half a
enough.
bottle of wine in the last 5 minutes.
Excellent. Right. Oh, so.
So dead. I mean, stream goes. No. What have you done? What's wrong with you? Someone help! Buy more subs.
Don't do it. Don't help me. It's not even 7:30. I can barely feel my legs. It's not even 7:30.
Lose sensation in your legs when you drink.
No, I lose the like. My feet go a bit weird. This is why I'm sat down.
But you're playing a snake person though, so it works.
So you don't need them.
Yeah, you don't need your legs. You're fine.
You auntie, I thought that the snake people were like, oh, they're all slithery and shit. This is gonna be really fun. And as it turns out, they're just like snakes on the head. They're just like a centaur. If a centaur is a snake, it's so fucking weird.
It's when Jess realised that she was like a snake tour and not a snake, and just the like, like everything.
Snake talk.
They're like a Ken doll with one of those
Snake
finger
talk.
puppets in their head.
Oh no! Oh no!
Right.
Anyway, Sorry.
Anyway, cool. Yes, excellent. God, I've got alcohol sweats. So, okay, serious face. I'm a professional. It's fine.
Yeah, the gigaloop.
Okay. So, our campaign takes place at Olvurz's travelling circus of wonders. You are a travelling band of circus folk, all committed to bringing wonder to the masses in exchange for a family, albeit a dysfunctional one. The circus is owned by Parch Olvurz, who is a generous, if eccentric figure, much loved by the community he's brought together. One of the oddities is that Parch defers all his decisions to a black, pot-bellied pig called Hammock, whom Parch believes is not only a genius, but is also able to see the future. Cool. So far, so good. One paragraph down, 2 more to go. Life in the circus is hard, and everyone relies on each other for survival, no matter their feelings about their fellow circus people. After all, the love of the crowd is transient, and once they've left the show to go back to their stable homes, all that's left is to pull down the big top and return to your bunk in your caravan. On this particular night, the circus is finishing a relatively fruitful residency outside the city of Neverwinter, though to you in the circus, it could be any large town on the Sword Coast, because fuck knows you've not been anywhere inside the city. It's a hard life. You work really hard. You sleep all day. You work all night. And now, if everyone is sitting comfortably, we shall begin. Darkness. With a click, a strong white beam of light illuminates the center of a circus ring. It reveals a massive figure in a top hat and a red button jacket. Now, players, you know up close, the jacket is bare and moth-eaten, the top hat is crooked and scuffed, but in this light, it looks really magical. Parch lifts his head up, illuminating his face as he slowly scans the audience, as if making eye contact with every single person out there. Slowly, into the light, enters a small black pot-bellied pig, who walks up to Hammock, looks up at him, snorts, and then wags its tail. Hammock looks down at the pig and smiles, before addressing the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Parch Olvuz's traveling circus of wonders. Forget Witchlight. Forget about any other circus you have ever seen. Parch brings you true risk, true reward, true magic, true wonder. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the circus, people who are partnered, unpartnered children, creatures of the night, anyone who is here to see us this evening, I would like to welcome you from the bottom of my heart. I am Parch Olvurz. This is my pig Hammock. Say hello, Hammock. He gestures to the pig. The pig goes. People in the audience laugh, clap, applaud slightly. And then he looks up. Ladies and gentlemen, I have many acts tonight who will dazzle you, confuse you, surprise you. First tonight, I have waiting in the wings a true professional who I have had the privilege to call a friend for many years traveling with the circus. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the feline phenomenon. The tabaxi to the maxi. The death cat for cutie. I would like to introduce to you Dancing Daggers. And with that, Blaybade, what you see is that the curtain in front of you, you're standing in the wings, the curtain in front of you parts, and you are suddenly dazzled by the limelight as it hits you in the face. You have experienced this many times before, and you hear the roar of the crowd as they start clapping and cheering in expectation. Parch and Hammock walk past you, and as Hammock walks past, you feel him squeeze your shoulder in a way that's very familiar to you, and has happened many, many times before. You walk out in the middle of the ring. Sasha, I'm going to ask you to take over.
I'm so nervous. So all of a sudden, darkness falls again, and one spotlight comes back on with dancing daggers in the middle at a sort of makeshift bar that has appeared with a glass, just sort of looking sad, but fantastic with her silky coat that looks a little bit like this, shimmery, a bit like moonlight. Dressed in sort of a combination of like leather adventuring gear with colorful shawls or ribbons around to make it more circusy, and really ostentatious like harem pants in red and teal. And she's there sort of looking sad and like, I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. And at that moment, a giant bare-ass baboon bumps into her. And she spills her drink. And she gets up, and this point, the spotlight has now widened to show us the entire ring, which does look a bit like a makeshift tavern. And at the head, sort of like, where that entrance exit would be, is a giant dartboard. And there's 3 of these baboons, Larry, Barry, and Jerry. And they're having a raucous time, and this really pisses her off. So she starts going in with them, and they start getting into an altercation. Very conveniently with the baboons right in front of the dartboard. In that moment, she goes, she just starts shouting at them. And he gets really angry and starts pulling out, and she reaches down to her boot and pulls out a dagger, and music starts up. I'm kind of thinking this sounds like a pub scene in a Guy Ritchie like brawl like a film. I'm thinking the Fratellis. Na 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 na. That music starts up, lights start going, the act has begun, and she starts pulling out daggers, one from each boot, and throwing them at these baboons. One gets the drink into the, right out of his hand. One goes really dangerously close to his monkey bits, pitting him with the pants to the dartboard. And after 10 throws, she gets 69 on the dartboard. Nice.
Okay, to find out if you do get 69 on the dartboard and whether all of the baboons survive, can you roll me? I'm going to say you can roll sleight of hand or athletics.
Which one am I better at? That one. Slightly. Ooh, it's a 12.
12. Right. I am gonna say for a 12, you hit Jerry's glass and you get the look from Jerry which says, yo bitch, have you actually been drinking? Because that right. However, Barry and Larry are absolutely fine and it goes as planned. What happens is that you actually you actually are slightly off on the 69, but like it's like people would have to be really close. From the point of view of the audience, it looks like you've actually like slammed it, but if you were to go right up close to the board, you can see that you're right on the line.
Okay, well, she gathers herself like, no. But no one can see because she's a professional. She stands and presents herself. The audience cheers. They think she's got it. They haven't seen the look. And at this time, some of the daggers had already pinned them by the clothes to the starboard. But assistants come out and strap them in. And she comes up and starts spinning the wheel. So the wheel is going very fast.
So just to be clear, you've strapped 3 baboons to a rotating dartboard.
Yes, I have. And it's about to get funky. And every goes behind the bar, pulls out a whole series, and like just goes another 12 daggers as they're spinning quite quickly, kind of narrowly missing them every single time, and pretend like the act is that she's getting like angry and angrier as if she wants to hit them. Just kind of and then it gets just more aggressive and more like ostentatious and outlandish as she's going. And then once she's done with these knives, she kind of stops it before the baboons can puke. And again, present yourself.
Before you find out whether you've presented yourself, I'm gonna say, can you roll me again a standard? Actually, no, because you're using knives, aren't you?
Yep.
Okay, can you roll me a DC? Can you roll me your hit dice? Right. If you get over 17, you might hit one of the baboons. If you get under 17, we'll have a conversation about it.
With the dagger, you mean?
Yes, just one dagger roll.
Ooh, 11.
11! You deliberately missed the baboons and they are all fine.
Yay! They live to see another day, although really they're replaceable.
Yeah, this is actually that, like, Larry was the 75th baboon you'd had during the entire time at the circus, and no one has ever asked questions.
At least. No one else knows. They sort of live in a little alcove next to my, my room, whatever. You'll describe the whole thing. I don't know why I'm taking the DMing for you. And so the final, so she's like sets up and she's stopped the wheel, but they're still there. The final one, a blindfold appears and goes over her eyes. Another series of daggers appears in front of her. This time they're colorful. The music gets really intense, angrier, more like thumpy, and like it's really like ramping up now. And so with the blindfold on, this wheel starts spinning again, and she throws another series, but this time colorful knives, so that it looks a little bit like Starry Night.
Nice.
On the board behind them.
Okay, so I think if you're going to try and make it look like Starry Night, I think you need to do a... How mean am I feeling? I mean, I've had a lot of gin already.
Does that make you meaner or nicer?
Oh no, gin turns me into an absolute cockwomble, let's be honest.
I hadn't noticed the difference.
No, you wouldn't.
Big words.
Okay.
Big words.
So you can choose between animal handling at disadvantage
Or
animal handling at disadvantage or athletics at disadvantage.
well, only one of those has a +2, so let's go with that one. Ooh.
Ooh, that's spicy. That's spicy.
It's spicy. Rolls are going well tonight. This tabaxi is having an ass. For the folks at home, that was a 5.
A 5.
But it was a strong 5.
It was a really strong 5.
Very proud.
So what I'm gonna say is that you throw, so you're throwing 50 knives, right? And it's supposed to be in a pattern that resembles Starry Night.
Yep.
It's
the big thing. It's the big finale.
It's the big thing. It's the big finale.
Yeah.
What Barry, Jerry, and Larry find themselves having to do is like frantically shape themselves around the knives as you're throwing them. Right? They're supposed to be pretending to be like completely strapped down and like they can't remove, but they're literally doing that thing where they go, ooh, oh, ooh, ooh, oh. And what you end up painting is really
Baboon Vogue.
really well. Actually, mysteriously, what you create is the outline of a pot-bellied pig. Without even thinking about it, like completely accidentally. And so as you take your blindfold off, you are absolutely horrified to find out the Starry Night does not exist. It's in fact an outline of a pig, and all your baboons are like this on the outside. So the way we finish each act is that you roll a performance check to find out what the audience thought of you.
Well, considering how these rolls have been going so far,
It's promising.
I don't even see. It's a 15.
It's a 15. So for a 15, what you get is you get a really warm round of applause. There's a couple of like wolf whistles. Someone throws a rose at you, which kind of lands at your feet, and you're able to like bend down and scoop it up, and with a flourish, take another bow to very warm applause. As Parch walks back into the ring with Hammock, he gives you a little smile and a nod, which you mean knows you've done okay. As you walk into the backstage area, there is Tyler. Sort of like psyching themselves up. They've got like this sort of kind of like jig about pre thing that they do where they just kind of like get their head in the game. What do you say to Tyler?
Tyler. That's about it.
Tyler.
And then it just sort of kind of like brushes him off, really.
Tyler throws some finger guns and goes, "Thank you for the brotivation, man." Tyler has not picked up on the fact that she's trying to blow him off. Tyler thinks
No.
that was support.
Yeah. Yes. Of course.
What a cutie. We love Tyler.
Tyler is very, very sweet. So
Frankly,
Tyler,
even acknowledging his presence was nice of her. That basically was encouragement, as much as she shows it.
yeah, and Tyler kind of knows that. It's a bit like when that teacher who you know hates you at school is like, yes. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh my god, that's the most approval I've ever got from these people. So Parch is in the middle of the ring again, and he's making Hammock do this like little thing where he like runs around the ring and he jumps over things, which the various stagehands around the circus are like bringing out. So like it finishes the little act with Hammock jumping through a hoop of fire, which never entirely goes well. Like there's always the faint smell of like singeing fur.
And
Because
bacon.
Hammock just, yeah. Like, there's just always a weird porky smell after the act because Hammock just can't get the like
It's so
air.
grim.
But there is a very polite round of applause as Parch stands up and regales everyone with a very expansive tale about Hammock once catching fire somewhere outside, somewhere on the trail of Icewind Dale, which there is some very polite laughter to. And then he straightens up and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the audience, men, women, children, people who identify as none of the above, I would like to introduce to you one of the greatest balancing acts I have ever had the privilege to work with across the history of the Circus of Wonders. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Balance." And there is a round of applause as Tyler steps out into the ring.
So Tyler has stepped into the ring. While this transition has been happening, a number of stagehands have brought out a substantial amount of chairs. And Tyler sort of stands in front of the chairs and goes, "Sup, guys? Mr. Balance, and then he tears his pants away. So he's shirtless, but in with like tights, like leggings. And Tyler proceeds to stack chairs in like ways that look precarious, you know, like just standing on one leg, somewhat high. He gets about 5 chairs going, and then he starts to climb up and does a handstand on the highest chair.
Okay, excellent. So I think we need an acrobatics or an athletics check at advantage for this.
Sure, because it's his act. Let's see. It was acrobatics or athletics, you said?
Yep, either of those.
Okay. Glad I got another shot at that one. 15.
15. Yeah, you kind of do this fairly easily. Like, you can see that there's a bit of a wobble going on, but you're pretty sure that it's not translating to the audience because you can hear people go, ooh, ah, ooh.
Awesome. So Tyler, you know, after giving it a beat for people to take in his awesomeness, you know, descends back down and just kind of wanting to see what happens now that he's back on like the ground. He just like kicks the chair stack down and takes a bow.
Can you roll a performance check? At
Sure.
disadvantage?
Oh no, wait, that was perception. My bad, that was perception. Hold on. I pressed the wrong one. Amazing. Going great.
I really want to take that perception check score.
Well, the performance check at disadvantage was a 13.
So at 13, what you get is that there are enough people who have been to see circuses and acts like this that they kind of like interpreting this as like you being deliberately a bit of a like bravado, bit of an asshole, like, ha ha ha, I've just stood on a thing, watch me kick some chairs, and so what you hear, there's like a large collection of people from the Neverwinter Alpha Beta Kappa fraternity in the audience tonight, and then there's a few kind of like senior patrician types from Neverwinter, and they all think this is hilarious. So there's a lot of like bros laughing along with you.
Tyler's relieved that they get his vibe.
Vibe check.
It's the chairs falling down for me. Okay, so having done that, then a ladder is brought out. This ladder is it's pretty tall. I would say it's about 3 or 4 times Tyler's height. And Tyler, and it's a simple ladder. Like, we're not talking about like one of the ones that like opens up. This is just a ladder. And he puts it on the ground and starts to climb to the top. And then, you know, gets to the top, deliberately like kind of moves it around as if he's about to fall, but then sort of settles and strikes a pose at the top of this very precarious, very tall ladder.
Okay, standard acrobatics check.
Okay. That's a nat 1. That's a 3.
Nice.
Wait. What was the drink? Is it just a drink, or is it like a?
No, it's just a drink.
Just a drink.
Drink on 1s and 20s. Fine.
This is amazing. So as the audience watches Tyler climb a ladder, and they've all got this kind of like, oh, will he, won't he, will he, won't he? There is a moment where Tyler is standing on top of the ladder and he's like, hell yeah, I'm here, I've arrived. And then like almost in slow motion, the ladder begins to tip. And there's just this like moment where what the audience sees across Tyler's face is like a, huh? And then you just fall into the audience. And what you find is that you end up in the lap of one of the many noble women in the audience who are clearly there with their children and they're like assembled members of the household, including their husbands. And as you look up, there is a woman just completely horrified to find you with your face buried in her crotch.
Tyler sort of gets up and is like, okay, so obviously that didn't go as planned. I would never intentionally do something that presumptuous without first asking you.
So
You know?
the woman just looks at the man next to her, who is like a kind of very patrician type with like a massive moustache and like a quiff and head to toe green velvet. And you can see that he's got a sword, which he very slightly draws, and he's like, "How dare you slander my wife like this?"
Tyler sort of starts to like back up and make his way back toward the ring and is just sort of like, I meant no slander. Obviously that wasn't intentional. That didn't go the way I had planned it. I am deeply sorry.
Well, you know, you are a coxcomb, clearly, who takes advantage of vulnerable women in the audience of this circus. I didn't particularly want to come here. I demand satisfaction at a time and place of my choosing.
Okay. That is sub-ideal for me. However, I will accept. And, you can just, like, let me pick the weapons, I guess, since you're choosing, like, the time and place.
Okay. And with that, it's like, he's got a quiff, but actually, as he stands up, you realize he's a lot shorter than you were expecting. And his wife stands up, and she is a lot taller than you were expecting. Like, this is one of those things where you're like, I wonder, like, is it love? Is it sex? Like, what is it? Why is this couple together? Because this man is vile. And basically what he does is he tries to come up and, like, ideally he would smack you in the face, but he just ends up like slapping you round the knee with a gauntlet, which he then drops at your feet.
Tyler just kind of like takes it in for a second and then shrugs and goes, okay, cool, and then goes back to the ring and is like, ladies and gentlemen, normally I don't fall into the audience, so that was a new thing for me, but I've got one more thing to show you.
Excellent. Go for it.
And so Tyler climbs high up into, you know, the big top where there is a high wire set up, and he first starts crossing it with like the stick, you know, like when you see people walking a tightrope across like Niagara Falls or whatever. And then he goes back without the stick, and then finally he starts going over a third time, only this time he begins to do tricks. You know, doing a one-handed handstand on the high wire, doing, you know, various feats of acrobatics on the tightrope. And after he gets to the other side, he sort of gracefully takes a bow and is like, well, I was going to say something about that going better, but I realize I haven't rolled.
You haven't rolled yet. So there is a particularly, I'm going to say like the kind of like finale of your act is where you do like a double flip and then you land on like a one-handed handstand.
Perfect.
On the rope, right? Like this is your special trick. Like people know that you absolutely like, this is the thing you do, and it's genuinely risky. Like there is nothing underneath to catch you. This could be a really short campaign for you, Emily. It's fine. You know, there is no magic here. Like one of the guarantees on the ticket is that like no one uses magic to protect the dangerous acts. Right? This is it. So You can roll an athletics or an acrobatics check at disadvantage.
All right.
Really hard.
Amazing. You said at disadvantage?
Yeah. Has that gone well?
Well, yeah, because the first time when I did athletics, I rolled a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so because it was disadvantage, that's the one, because the other one was 15.
Okay, so what I will say for a 7 is that it is not a total failure. What happens is that you get the flip done, you land on your hand, and then just there is a weird moment where you like swing round so that you're underneath the wire, and you're sort of like hanging. If you can tell me how you get out and roll a athletics check at advantage, I will let you survive this.
Okay. So the way that Tyler gets out of it is he swings his other arm up to grab the tightrope, and then he starts to swing back and forth, and he's trying to play it off like it's part of his act. So he does that thing like, you see gymnasts do where they go around and around and around until he can jump up and land on his feet on the tightrope.
Nice.
So he's trying to salvage the situation. So athletics at advantage.
Yeah.
Don't fail me now.
Yeah, I think we can allow that.
Okay, dirty 20.
Nice. Yeah.
Dirty 20.
I drink for dirty 20. It's not an official rule. I just want the excuse. The official rule is only for the nat 20s and the nat 1s. I just drink for the dirty ones as well.
Sasha drinks for any 20. So yeah, you land.
I drink for the dirty ones.
Of course you do. So you manage to land very effectively. You're like in your sort of like gymnast pose, arms up in the air, very elegant, very graceful. Roll me a performance check.
Okay.
Come on.
12.
12. So your frat types in the audience are like, Tyler. Like they recognize a brother. And so they're all like properly into it. You can basically, though, your eye is immediately drawn to this man and his wife in the front row. The wife is just like completely mortified, and she sort of like wrapped herself in a blanket. Just like, oh, I didn't enjoy that. And the like husband is just like looking at you properly like,
Tyler just kind of like shifts a little bit, makes eye contact with one of the like really excited bros, produces a frisbee out of God knows where, and goes, "Hey!" and throws him a frisbee.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna roll athletics. The bro like reaches up, like he's like really like it's like almost slow motion, and he's wearing a crop top, right? So like he exposes more and more belly as he reaches up, and he's like, bro. And the frisbee goes straight through his hand, and hits hits a dwarf sitting behind him who's really impressed.
At this point, Tyler just is kind of like, okay, and like kind of just disappears backstage.
Okay.
You see, as you're on the high wire, you basically see like Hammock sprinting on. Arch really close behind him, being like, well, wasn't that great? And as you make your way down from the high wire, you can see a little pair of like eyes peeking out from behind the curtain. And as you walk behind the curtain as quickly and stealthily as possible, you find that Milton is sitting there like watching everything through a crack in the curtain. Milton, what do you say to Tyler?
I kind of just like see him, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. That could have gone better.
It totally could have, but I'm going to try to not make it be like a part of my perception of myself, you know? Like I'm gonna be like, hey, it didn't go well this one time, but like other times it might not. Other times it might go like super well. And
Yeah,
next to me,
you're right.
you're gonna look amazing. So, have fun out there.
Love you, Tyler. See you after my show.
Love you too, bro.
As you guys are talking, a familiar and slightly terrifying figure from the circus. Someone you will have like a weird affection for in the way that most people have affection for like the office oddity. Like, you don't know whether to be terrified of them or just have like deep love and sympathy for them. Sort of like walks up quietly behind you. Shit. Himbo, you hear them talking.
Oh, it is me. All right, thanks.
Yes. As if there was any doubt. Himbo,
No.
you hear them, and they're both being like super supportive of each other in that. They get towards the end of the conversation, and you decide to like cut in and give your own contribution. What does that entail?
So, Himbo is wearing like a big ruff, checkered shirt. There's lots of colors, harlequin patterns, and you can just see from the inside of his clothes a small rustling, and it is creeping, crawling all over his body. And then all of a sudden, just on his shoulder appears a little bone mannequin, just like almost a puppet, and it just turns into his head. And looks like it says something, and sort of snickers away. Himbo looks at Tyler and goes, "Marjorie thinks you did well."
Tyler. Tyler sort of like takes a beat to process, and then is like, "Thank you, Marjorie. I need to get better acquainted with Marjorie. She's really supportive, and I need to know more about like her story."
Well, providing you keep your face out of her crotch, I think we'll be fine.
Well, ordinarily I'd make promises, but today makes me think I can't make any promises, man. I'll try.
At which point, much to everyone backstage relief, you hear the word Himbo and the Clown and Marjorie! And there is a really substantial round of
Hey!
Oh my god.
So as Tyler is sort of scurrying off into the back, Himbo really quickly folds himself into a space that feels impossibly small, and into something that behind the curtains no one can quite make out. And the spotlight comes on the stage, and there is a small drum roll, like growing in the background. Out onto the stage, a tiny little, if there were cars in this universe, car, but it's not. It's like a carriage, but it's a tiny one, drawn by nothing but magic, and it laps the what would you call it? The stage. It laps the stage and goes round and round and round in a circle, and it's no higher than anyone's knee, and you can see sort of the audience is cooing and roaring. It gets into the center, and all of a sudden, out of one side of the car, an even smaller, impossibly small door opens, and Himbo's face emerges through it. And with a scream, he's getting out he comes.
Jesus Christ.
And so it's just pulling himself out and dragging out his massive frame. And then once he is out, he dusts himself down, goes around to the other side of the car where there is a normal sized door, opens it, and Marjorie steps out. That is the first part of the act. What would you like me to roll for horror?
I'm gonna let you roll an intimidation check. In an ideal world, you want to get below 10.
I'm gonna be honest here. You've already won at that. Like, we can just consider that.
I don't feel the idea of audience are fucking terrified or generally like, oh, this is cute. curious.
We want intimidation. Well, that's not a 2, and my intimidation is 6, so we've got an 8 there.
So, apart from one child in the front row who you hear like scream, and then your one two senses pick up a strong smell of child poop. Like everyone else is just really intrigued by what the fuck is happening to yet have come up with an opinion of how they really feel about this.
Incredible. So after introducing sort of Marjorie getting out of the car, Marjorie is a puppet to Himbo's size. Himbo's massive sort of 7-foot frame. Marjorie is a fraction of it. She scuttles up his shoulder and sits there. And Himbo takes a bow to the audience and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am Himbo the clown, and this is my magnificent assistant, Marjorie. Say hello, Marjorie." And Marjorie just stays silent. And with that, hold on one very brief second because I have forgotten something. That's it. So with Marjorie there, Himbo then begins a sort of routine of clowning. He and Marjorie begin a little back and forth. They are, laughing at each other, bumbling around. There are cartwheels, there's falling over. It looks like Himbo's hurt himself. He hasn't, he's fine. It is all just pure clownery. And that is the second part of this horror show.
Okay. Can you roll me a standard insight check, please?
These are none of the things
I want to redeem stop oversharing, but I'm too scared.
15 on insight.
15 on insight. What you get is that the audiences generally make a noise. Like even if there's there's rustling of bags, there's sense of breathing. What you're getting is absolute freaking silence because no one knows what the fuck is going on. There's mime going on. You and Marjorie have been trapped in a box for 5 minutes. No one has any comprehension of what they're watching.
I have them right where I want them. This is fine. And out of nowhere, a table of pies appears. There is 5 different pies. Marjorie scuttles up onto the table and begins yeeting these pies at Himbo one at a time. And Himbo begins making a variety of wonderful poses to sort of, dodge them. He's jumping, star jumping and touching his toes and basically clowning around. And then in the very last pie, what the audience sees is Marjorie pulls a brick out from somewhere, puts it in the pie and throws it, and it hits Himbo square in the face. Himbo is knocked unconscious. Marjorie drags his body back into the car and it drives off.
Can you just go straight to a performance check on that?
Absolutely, that's no problem. That's really what I was hoping you were going to say. That is a 17 plus 6.
Woo!
23, baby.
Wow.
There's a big chunk of the circus folk because they're fascinated by your act and the variety of reactions that they have had over the years to what you do. And much to their surprise, given the reception so far outside Neverwinter, this is met with absolutely uproarious applause. People are clapping, people are throwing roses, people are there's one person, you think, it's hard to tell under the lights, but it looks like another onesie comes out and scoops up some of the sawdust that's got your blood in it and runs off going, I've got some! You clearly have facts. And everyone in the circus is continuously above it. People are now throwing cabbages, which are a good luck for future shows. And the good luck cabbages are arriving, and you can see all the stage hands. So most of the stage hands are dwarves, by the way. It's one of the peculiarities of the circus. And so there are just lots of dwarves running around with brooms, frantically shoving up the increasing piles of cabbages that are building up in this circus, and just pushing them back. So Milton Milton and Blade, you are behind stage and you're watching the dwarves sweeping cabbages.
Sweeping cabbages, sweeping cabbages, 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 cabbages.
Blade, do you say anything?
That was revolting, as per usual.
Himbo's limp body falls out of the car. Archery is dragging him out. And then as from nowhere, like in The Mummy, he just bolts upright. And it's just like, a success? Huzzah! And Martin his clothes. He gets up, brushes himself up, picks up the car and goes, another day, another dollar, and off he runs.
Tyler, you walk back into the backstage area just as Himbo runs past, laughing hysterically. And you see.
Oh my god!
Milton and Blade just standing there in front of a pile of cabbages.
They'll be eating well for days.
just runs back in, says that, and runs back out again.
Tyler makes eye contact with Milton and slowly, as if he's asking a question, puts his pants back on. and then kind of walks up and whispers in Blade's ear, just like, is this one of those things that I just don't understand? Or is this one of those things that nobody understands?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay. And Tyler just kind of just is trying to find somewhere to find a little bit of comfort, just doesn't know what to do. Kind of is backs up against the wall and then is like, Milton, I know you're gonna go on, but could you hold my hand for a second or something? I don't know what to do.
I silently, still in shock, I kind of blink twice and then I just grab his hand. I'm like, and I take a deep breath.
Tyler feels better.
So, Milton, you can see out your corner eye that Hammock and March are back in this ring, and that Hammock has got hold of 3 cabbages and is currently juggling them. You never realised Hammock could juggle before? This is a complete surprise to you. Hammock is surprisingly good at it for a pig, considering they don't have fingers. It's very effective.
Hidden porcine skills,
A pig's gotta do what a pig's gotta do to keep the show going.
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah. Hey.
Why is that our new catchphrase?
And Milton, Hammock stops. And you hear Parch go, and welcome to the stage, before we go to an interval, our newest member of the Circus of Wonders family, Milton Bugles. Buggles. Boggles.
Bugles.
Milton! Parch comes off.
So the lights go off, and then I walk up on stage in the darkness, and I just kind of set up 2 really high platforms, one parallel to the other. And then as the light comes back on, I'm standing in front of, in center stage of the ring, and I'm wearing this beautiful 80s bomber jacket. And I just kind of zip it down, and I reveal this beautiful beige and sequined gown. Oh, that's tight. So it's skin tight. It almost looks like I'm naked, but I'm not. And out from the right wing comes out my assistant, Anton. Anton is a 6'4", Middle Eastern, hugely strong built man who does not speak a word of English. And I just kind of turn to him and I bow my head gracefully as he does the same to me. Two beautiful, like, I want to say, like, almost like, oh God, what's the word? Whatever. So two, like, drapes. What, like, all
the silks
come all the way down. Yeah, so
silks.
two silks come all the way down. And Anton grabs a hold of one of them and wraps it around his arm and into his leg as the silk kind of like both silks go up in the air. And then another ring tied to a rope comes down where I mount the ring and I'm just kind of like spinning in the ring in the middle. And then Anton with his free hand just kind of like flips me around and I start spinning in the ring in the air. So that's the first part of the act.
That is very beautiful. So I'm going to say that is an acrobatics check at advantage for that. Because that sounds very easy for you.
Actually mounting the ring.
Phrasing.
I got 14.
Can I be a circus nerd? It's called a lira.
Hey, okay, period. Okay, so it's a lira. Thank you for the information because I know nothing about aerialists. So da. Hey. But yeah, I got a 14.
14, yeah. So for 14, it's not like your most graceful like flip around the lira. Lira sounds better than saying ring repeatedly for the rest of the cycle, so let's stick with that.
No, I mean,
It really does.
if we
really
must.
does.
You coward.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought we were on critical drinking. I didn't realize we were on critical cowards. God.
Oh, shit!
Sick burn.
You know,
Burn!
you realize you've had a lot to drink. Do you know that minute, that time, that
Yes.
it just hits you a little bit?
You're like, oh wow.
Am I really gonna just yell? Yeah, no, okay, cool. Yeah, we're here for this now. Cool.
And the great thing is that you'll be able to rewatch this all tomorrow, Jess.
Yeah. Oh,
Strong
it's
sense
on
of
record.
honor.
What was the hill that I died on during the stream? Demanding it be called a ring? Sure.
Right,
Yeah.
Jess has demanded that we could describe it as a ring, despite having a technical term given it from like a perfectly like valid source of knowledge. So yes, Nacho, if you could describe everything that Milton interacts with as a ring, from now on,
everything,
Got you.
including Anton.
all of it. Like Anton is now a ring.
Be specific. I want details.
It's just everything is it's some sort of my leg is falling. Some sort of just ring with an adjective, right? So is tight ring or fancy ring or Anton ring.
Okay.
Anton ring.
Anton ring.
Okay, so you rolled a 14. This is very easy for you. Anton elegantly spins around your ring, and
This is what I'm here for.
I consider this a victory. I just want everyone to know we have won, Jess.
You get the sense that he's handled your ring on many occasions and really knows what he's doing. He's incredibly masterful. I'm so sorry, Nacho.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm versed. I'm an adult. We can talk about this.
I just like most people here are on the LGBTQ plus spectrum. It's just that we don't usually have to be like this. It's fine. We've moved on. It's not the 1980s. What is it? Yeah. So he like masterfully handles your ring. You finish. You finish. Are you finishing face to face, or what's like the final position?
Ring to ring.
The ring just kind of like slows down into being like still facing the audience, and my face is like upside down, so I'm like upside down. I'm like, hey, what's up? So like I managed to spin inside the ring as the ring was spinning.
Right. Got it. So what happens next?
Okay, so after that, my feet kind of come off the top and I start hanging from the lyra, and I swing towards Anton a couple times. As this is happening, there's this like dim light starts growing from within myself and starts kind of like projecting outwards. And people just see a bunch of like diamonds and like they see like light diamonds, you know, like the little sparkly things that you get when you shine a shiny rock and you get like reflection from it. So the people see that all around the circus, and I'm just like swinging. And then as I'm swinging, four beautifully dressed sequin gowned penguins step out on the ring, holding a net, and they're just kind of like waddling around. They're like wah, 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 wah. And then they like stretch out.
That noise
as
again,
the net
please.
wah, 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 wah. And as they are walking out on stage, they each grab a corner of the stage so that there is a safety net below me, where I am able to fall and I won't harm myself. And as I'm swinging, I eventually let go and I grab onto Anton's ankle. At this, that's the second part.
So I'm going to say a standard sleight of hand check to grab onto Anton's ankle.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh yeah, getting a bunch of penguins into sequin gowns. Dexterity, absolutely
That's-
no problem. Getting hold of Anton's ankle. That's the real
concern.
cincher here.
That's the real concern. Well, I mean, what you don't see is that the penguins actually really enjoy the sequins, and
If anything, it's hard to get them out of it. Like...
yeah, Milton has an ongoing battle with them to like get them to cut down on the makeup.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
me and
So-
Ring both.
Yeah.
So I got a 15 with my modifier. It's 17.
Oh, excellent. That's very easy. You have very firmly got hold of Anton's ankle,
As I should. Period.
as you should. You've got Anton's legs above your head. It's all fine.
Where is the ring?
wants to know.
No.
So at this point, I am grabbing onto Anton's leg, and he just kind of like props me up into his chest, where I like press onto him sweetly and beautifully, and we just kind of hold that there in the air for a second. And then he starts swinging from the silk to reach the lyra again. And when I reach the lyra, I grab onto it and I assume the starting position, which was me, just kind of like, woo! At this point, the net that the penguins are holding is set on fire. So therefore, my safety net is no longer is no longer a safety net, because if I fall, I will burn and die.
Whoa! This net is on fire.
And so this time I do the same flippy floppy thing where I like jump towards Anton, but I do it using my feet instead of my hands.
Whoa!
And that
I'm going to be incredibly generous and say you can do an acrobatics roll at disadvantage,
Okay.
which doesn't sound generous, but I mean your bonus is
Ooh.
hefty.
I got a nat 20 and
Yeah.
21.
Break out that skull,
Okay.
baby.
Son of a bitch.
20,
yeah.
21.
Oh, yes.
You have nailed it. Tell me what like success looks like, Nacho.
So as I'm swinging and I'm in the air, the dim light that was glowing within me turns into like this bright spark, and it just like immediately goes dark, and all you can see is like me being held by Anton, with like our ankles interlocking, and I'm just kind of like posing in the air as the light from the flames below me is like lighting me up and turning my sequin gown into like a beautiful flare of sparks in the air.
So you're effectively a mirror ball at this point.
A disco
And
ball.
what everyone below you can see is that the penguins, who are also in a very similar sequin outfit, have dropped the net, and it's just like, you know, causing an increasing kind of pyre, I suppose, in the middle of like sawdust and stuff. Catches fire, and they're all like dancing round it. It's like Penguin Burning Man.
I love it. I love it so much.
That is what is happening. So can you please roll me a performance check?
Of course.
I really want this to either be like massive or so fucking low that it's
I got a 10.
The
average.
exact opposite of that.
Perfectly average.
very average.
But like,
So,
I guess.
You get a clap. You see like someone in the audience has used like prestidigitation and has put out like a rainbow across the audience for you, like just in sympathy, because they were like, that was so cute when he hugged the other one. And I get the vibe that they're together. They're usually together, these types of people. And you know that kind of like conversation is entirely right. So you know it's well-meaning if slightly misjudged, but you're gonna take it. And there's just like a very like, you know, reasonable amount of clapping. There are no cabbages, because part of the if there were cabbages, there would be a very strong smell of burning cabbage at this point, which no one needs.
Burning cabbages.
Burning cabbages. And the penguins are standing on the edge of the ring doing this thing like they have done the best thing ever, and they're like just constantly bowing. Like they just keep going, even though like the band has clearly struck up for what should be the interval music and what you recognize the interval music, and the penguins are still going. They're still like, yeah, man, I'm a penguin. And the audience are like, and you hear projected across the circus Parch saying very loudly, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a 15-minute interval. Please avail yourselves of the concessions that you will find outside, the popcorn, the candy floss, the many kinds of drinks and delights. And we will see you again in 15 minutes. And that, guys, is where we're going to go for a break.
Yay!
Yay!
Very fun. All right, let me cue up the intermission. I wasn't expecting it so soon, but that's good because I have to pee. Okay.
do I. And we need
I
to
need
big
a
Jeff's
jump
water.
Yeah,
Give
we
Jeff
will
all
see
the
everyone in about 10 minutes. 10
I
minutes.
can
Yeah.
feel my eyeballs. Yes, please, God. 10 minutes. 10 minutes sounds
Okay.
good. That's
See you all soon.
Son of a bitch.
We are live again. Hello.
We apologize to anyone who has a fear of clowns.
I don't.
Sorry.
And if you didn't have a fear of clowns before this stream, you probably do now.
Welcome.
Fine. It's all fine. So for anyone who unfortunately missed the first half of the stream, we basically saw the party perform their act in a circus belonging to Part Olvurz. So we saw, in order, we saw Blades take on death-defying knife act involving baboons and a spinning dartboard. We saw Tyler fall into the lap of a Neverwinter noblewoman and commit himself to a fight at some point. We saw Himbo confuse and terrify an audience into submission.
And indeed us.
Along with
Yes.
their terrifying bone puppet Marjorie. Then Milton performed a charming act with their partner, Anton, who doesn't know a single word of common, and I assume speaks something like really weird, like abyssal or something that no one speaks, and perform a really touching act involving silks and a ring, which we've learned is called a lira.
A lira.
Lira.
Like
Lira,
the
yeah, not a
defunct
Leica. It's nothing to do with
money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. We'll remember the lira fondly. Our favourite currency, so that got the
Yes.
I've replaced mine with rings, so.
There's an Art Brut song called 18,000 lira, and I remember, I don't know how much that is, but he says at the end, like, it sounds like an awful lot of money. And my dad walked by, saw the name of the song on my iPod, and this is when I was like a teenager, and goes, 18,000 lira is not that much. And just walked away.
Cool. So before we get into debating currency and like its relative value in the year 2022, let's move swiftly on. So our party are part of Olvurz's Circus of Wonders. They have all performed their acts, and they now find themselves in the green room / chuck wagon, which runs the kind of dual purpose of either feeding them depending on the time of day, or at this time of day it's effectively the green room. There is a lot of chairs and tables. There are a lot of other acts who are kind of either they're like meditating or like psyching themselves up pre-show, or just having a bit of like a chillax post act in while they wait for the finale. There is a bar at the other end, which you will all know, obviously, is run by Glenda, who is a gnome who was once herself a high-flying circus act. In fact, she's the reason that Milton joined the circus, because she had a very nasty accident, which means that she now has a arm and a leg which are put together by an artificer. And she can do cool things with them. However, she cannot do what Milton can do anymore. And she's fine with that. And as you walk in, she's at the far end of the carriage, smoking a rollie and like just moving some dirt around the top of the bar, as she tends to do on your average night. What would you guys like to do while you wait for the finale?
I'm having a cat nap.
I kind of go over to Glenda and I rant about how the people in the audience were like low-key homophobic, so they didn't like my performance.
Excellent. Glenda does that thing where she pinches your cheek. Like she has to reach right up over the bar and she pinches your little cheek and she's like, Don't you worry about it, love. You and Anton do what you want to do and people will love you regardless. Like, don't worry about it. Like, she's just basically being very kind and very, very soothing to you. To the point where she's like, because, I mean, you're an asthma, so you're quite a lot taller than she is. So she's sort of doing a lot of things where she's like patting you on whatever body parts she can reach in a reassuring way.
Whoa.
Not like that. That's all in your mound. What mound?
Mound. It's all in your Friend is all up in your mouth, isn't it?
Fine, it's all fine. This is what happens when your GM is quarter through a liter of gin. Wow. It's all fine.
Impressive though.
Rings
Emily.
and mounds and bears. Oh my.
Mounds, too many mounds. Emily, what is Tyler doing? Help us.
Tyler goes up to the bar and just asks for a bottle of beer. Something that's not like too crazy. I don't know, just like a lager or something. And he's like, it's not time for something like an IPA just yet, but like I think I could really use a drink.
So, Gloria turns to you. She's like, "Look, Tyler, we've been through this before. There's one kind of beer here, and that's all we've got. So you have what you're given." At which point, she slides towards you a tankard of something brown and liquid, which just about tastes like some sort of beer.
Along
Gotcha.
the bar, Marjorie is just sat on it with one of these tankards and is looking
Yes.
at Tyler like drinking.
Tyler like just kind of like takes a sip and is just like, thank you for reminding me. I know I don't always remember like details or like faces or names super well, but like you're really nice and I appreciate it. And he takes another sip and then he kind of like looks at Marjorie and he's like, so like what kind of a weapon should I pick for this duel thing? 'Cause like I kind of am thinking something that's like chill. Like I don't know, maybe like those foam rollers that kids hit each other with. Like that could be kind of like fun, you know? Because like I don't want to necessarily like kill him if I don't have to, but like I know I could. What should I do?
Marjorie sort of like puts down the massive tankard and sort of scratches her chin and raises her arm. And then out of nowhere from behind you in like the shadows, Himbo just fucking appears. And goes, "What's that?"
And at
Marjorie.
at that point, we're going to redeem the overshare. Himbo.
Ah, okay. So, could you how does overshare
So,
work?
how does overshare
specifically?
work? Overshare is an external monologue that everyone can hear, where the character overshares something which is either inappropriate for that moment or which, well, I mean, inappropriate for that moment, I think is really the context.
Covers it, yeah.
Yeah, or just like a lot more than
Just a
more.
lot,
to-
like-
moment.
yeah.
All right.
Honestly, everything Himbo does is a lot, but yeah, just take it up.
More than this? Okay, let's go. So Marjorie, after calling Himbo over and Himbo going, "What's this?" Marjorie looks like it's chattering, like it's saying something,
Mm-hmm.
but not. There's no words coming out of this like skeletal puppet's mouth. There's nothing there, and Himbo is nodding along over your shoulder, just getting slowly closer.
Ah, yes. Marjorie's saying it's sort of like the time that we dealt with little Timmy. We didn't know the singular method in which to deal with him, but we had to. We had to. It was for the circus, you see. Yes. And as such, well, for the man that you are dealing with, because we saw it from the sidelines, and it was not a pretty sight, what I would suggest is bringing me along with you. If you fight him with me, there's no chance that he'll survive.
And Himbo just sort of leers back and then begins to just sort of slink on the bar and go, "What do you think?"
Well, that like solves one of my problems because I do need a second if I'm gonna be dueling.
Perfect.
So-
Let's do it.
I would
What's
love
the
that.
guy's name?
Oh, I don't know yet.
This is complex then.
All I have is his little like gauntlet glove, and he just kind of like holds it up.
Question.
Himbo.
Um,
Yes.
Weird question. With the glove, Is Himbo able to identify who it belongs to?
Okay. Himbo and Tyler, can you please roll investigation checks?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, sure.
God. Now's when you do another overshare.
For Marjorie.
For Marjorie?
Nosma, we're gonna ban you from open.
I got a 2.
I'm a big fan of Nosma. I got a 12.
Okay, so Tyler, you searched the glove, and basically what you can tell from it is that it's a leather glove. Really, it's a leather glove. It's a really big leather glove. Like, you put your hand in it, you wave it around. It's got 5 fingers. It's a glove. It's a glove. It's a glove. And you spend a lot of
honestly,
time
given like the height of the man, this is a surprisingly big glove.
I was going to say, small man, big glove, large ego.
Absolutely. That is an astute observation, my dude.
While you're waving the glove around and you put the glove on your hand and you're doing the wiggly finger thing, what you see is Himbo's tongue dart out and lick the back of the glove. I'm assuming very slowly, Jess, I would imagine, knowing Himbo. I don't think this would be a quick action. This would be,
if anything, he's making eye contact with Tyler.
And Marjorie is peering over your shoulder, also making eye contact with Tyler while this is going on.
Empty sockets looking into your soul.
Oh my god!
It's genuinely quite an overwhelming experience.
That's what I want to put on Himbo's flyer. Himbo and Marjorie, genuinely quite an overwhelming experience.
And Tyler, like he's asking a question, starts to take his pants off and then stops. And then puts his pants, like pulls his pants back up again, like thinks better of it, and then just like takes another sip of his beer.
At which point Himbo gets a message from Marjorie and proceeds to overshare something on Marjorie's behalf.
So with the glove in his hand, he takes just his time with his tongue mapping, trying to figure out who it belonged to. What kind of man wears a glove that is far too big for his own hands to make himself feel more like a man? Brings it back, and Marjorie's voice tickles in his ear.
Yes, Marjorie is quite right. Your foe is of her kind, you see. Yes. You've probably noticed that Marjorie is made from bone, the bone of a sad and, quite frankly, unworthy man, the femur of which. Yes, that's Marjorie. But you see, these men sometimes are quite magical. The smaller the stature, the more they hide, you see, making up for stuff, I suppose. But no, Marjorie thinks that we have a way to help people. So bring us along, yes. We'll definitely be able to. Can I get anything from this glove at this point? Do I have an idea of where they were sat in the audience, or like I have them in my mind? Also, how far away are they at this point? If we are in the truck,
the audience are like quite a long way away. So you guys are at a truck which is like round the backstage area, and you just effectively cross over a small courtyard to reach it. The audience are all over the front of the tent, like, you know, they're at the bars and they're at the kind of like food stands, and they're hopefully spending a lot of coin and trying a lot of things that you've never thought. But Himbo, what you know is that in the front row tend to be all the patrons of the circus, so the people who have effectively paid for the circus to be there. And you know specifically that this time outside Neverwinter, the local patrons are Cloudfoot and Footcloud, who are the local realtors. And you know that it will either be Cloudfoot or Footcloud who were in that seat.
okay.
So you suspect it's one of the realtors.
Now, listen to me here, Tyler. Listen to me here, boy. What I'm saying is this. What I'm suggesting is this. And suggestion Suggestion is the key here. I am not suggesting that I and Marjorie fight for you, but what I am suggesting is that I put him at a disadvantage. What do you say, my boy? What do you say?
I say personally...
As Milton hears all of this, he just kind of like glances at Himbo, gets scared, and starts weeping into Glenda's arms.
And to think I joined the circus to make people laugh.
No. Yeah, Glenda just pats you on the head. She's like, "It's going to be all right, dear. It's going to be all right." At which point, the door to the chuck wagon / green room slams open, and there, taking up the entire doorway, is Parch. And you hear a little kind of like, and Hammock sticks his little like snout round Parch's knees.
Dag's like kind of, first of all, bolts awake probably because this was quite jarring. Now realizes what's happening and sort of like starts slowly stretching out of her cat nap.
Parch starts marching somewhat aggressively down the length of the carriage towards Tyler.
Tyler very quickly, kind of whispers over to Himbo, just like, I would very much like to see what you're going to do, and I appreciate all of your help. Thank you.
Stand near me, dear boy. Stand near me, dear boy. I've had something to drink. Just sit near me. This'll all be over in a moment. Parch is just a little angry. It's fine. It doesn't always go to plan, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Marjorie thinks so as well, don't you, Marjorie? Yes, she does. It's fine. It's fine.
As you guys
Himbo and Marjorie, you guys passed the vibe check. Thank you so much.
Himbo and Marjorie are aware of the House of Vibes.
Hydrate, thank you very much, Uncle Nosmo, for identifying Jess as a rookie streamer. But basically, as you guys are talking, Parch picks up a wine bottle with a candle in it that's on one of the tables and just throws it in the general direction of Tyler.
Can I, as a reaction, really quickly cast suggestion?
Oh, yes.
Cool. We're going to do that then.
Suggestion
it's just...
on who?
I'm casting suggestion on Parch.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We'll cast it at the second level if possible.
Okay. Let me just find the character sheet. So, what's the saving throw?
So saving throw is Wisdom 14, please.
Wisdom. Oh, that's annoying. I thought that was better. Damn it, 13.
Okay. So what happens is it's just as if Parch thinks that Tyler is like a foot to the left. And so his aim is just off.
Does he hit me then? What happens?
Wait, no, are you on the left? Shit!
Gloria, and Milton, can you both make dexterity saving throws, please?
P.S. None of them have heard me do this. He's just got bad aim. It's okay.
I got a 17.
Okay, Gloria got a 14. You're absolutely fine. The bottle with the candle goes sailing over your heads. And usually, as it sails over your head, you're both like, oh, funny, Parch is usually much more accurate than that. And it goes smashing into the back of the bar, where kind of like bits of wax and bits of sort of like whatever was in the bottle at some point, like the remnants of the wine that was in there and the various bits. It's one of those bottles that's got like the Hessian wrapped around it. So there's bits of Hessian going, and Gloria very quickly identifies this might be a fire hazard and sets about like patting out the little bits of flames that are currently starting. And Parch marches up to you, Tyler, and he says, "What the hell did you do to that woman?"
Well, honestly, so what happened was my act didn't entirely go as planned. The ladder fell down and not where it was like supposed to. I fell into the audience, and as I was attempting an Aikido roll, that woman's lap was sort of, I don't want to say in my way, but it was in my general like field of rolling, and her husband seems to have misinterpreted that as me endeavoring to invite her for some cunnilingus or something, and
Just some
I-
cunnilingus.
or something, or something. But like, look, I would never be that presumptuous. I am really big on asking for enthusiastic consent in matters of cunnilingus or something. So, that was like entirely not my intention. And then he was like, I want to duel you, bro. And I was like, well, I can't back down, bro. So I guess I'll see you there. That's all I got.
Yes, I mean, I gathered that much from watching in the wings and watching you fall off the fucking ladder that I asked you not to include in your acts, and watch you lay your head into Foot Cloud's wife. He
Foot
paid
Cloud's
for
good to
our
know.
entire residency, Tyler. Our entire we would not be here without him. He's the reason that we were able to afford the cabbages to get the audience to throw at himbo.
About
Well,
the
to be fair, it's not exactly like cabbages are expensive.
And I've asked you to reconsider throwing them in the first place. They do stink.
I'm gonna be real with you, like, it's not as if I did it intentionally, and the ladder is super rad. My intentions were good. I wasn't, like, trying to fuck anything up, and, I don't know, like, is there anything I can do to smooth things over, with toe mist?
Yeah, the ladder is super rad.
No.
In between tears, Milton just pops his head up and he's like, "And I helped decorate it," and just buries his head back into the chest.
Again, Gloria just like taps the back and goes, "It's all right, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine." So Parch turns at you, and he looks you in the eye for a second, and then he turns to Hammock, and he says, "Hammock, if we continue to allow the ladder in his act, is this gonna happen again?" And you can see Hammock thinking for a little bit, and Hammock sort of is like,
Can I cast guidance on Hammock?
Hammock does not need guidance. Hammock looks up at Parch and just goes like that. And Parch turns to you and said, "Well, Hammock's just told me that if you continue to use the ladder, you will continue to end up in the laps of valuable sponsors."
Doesn't sound like such a bad situation now, does it?
I do think that's part of what he wants.
Cunnilingus or something, I believe.
Or something.
Or no! Or so, only with enthusiastic consent, like, beforehand, or, so, if there's any cunnilingus or something involved, everyone will know beforehand. Just everyone is harshing my Mel right now, and like, if we could just take a second to like chill and check in with ourselves, I think we'll find the situation isn't as bad as it seems. And like, I'll try to find something instead of the ladder, even though like Milton's ladder decorations are super fucking beautiful, and I think worthy of display.
Okay, Tyler, let me put it this way. Either the ladder goes or you go. And when Foot Cloud inevitably sends a letter asking you for a duel, you will respond to the letter and you will duel Foot Cloud.
I get his
Okay.
ladder.
Oh, I mean, I was going to like, in an act of trying to show that like I understand, I was just gonna go burn it in the back. But like, I guess you can have the ladder if you want.
I meant if you die.
Oh. Yeah, I totally might die.
That's actually not a terrible idea, you know. I mean, think about it. If you keep the ladder in, at the very least, there's a possibility he might die, if not on an audience member. It'd be incredible PR for the show. But you take the ladder out, you take out a lot of the elements of danger that actually makes Tyler a valuable player.
All
I would
press is
say-
good press.
I would say keep the ladder in, but make him duel anyway. He's probably going to die one way or the other. Don't you think?
I mean, look, now I'm starting to, like, really kind of get into this, and I'm, like, thinking of other stuff I could balance on. Like, what about a big ball? I could balance on a big ball and just kind of, like, run around. Or, like,
That's sort of my thing.
Oh, that's true. Okay. I'm gonna keep brainstorming. But, like, I understand the ladder thing, and I want to make you happy, so I won't ladder anymore. And as for the duel, I was like, what kind of a weapon should I pick when he challenges me? Like, do I want it to be kill or be killed, or do I want it to be just kind of like, oh, we should hit each other, with teddy bears?
You should use your incredible wits.
No, that stuff's far too dull.
That was the point.
Arch looks at you, Tyler. Arch says, look, I don't care what you use. I would rather you didn't kill the man who is giving us money and is making sure that I can pay all of you. And keep the circus running and do things like, I don't know, feed the animals and the beasts and the creatures and the various livestock that we rely on to get around and, you know, perform acts and that kind of thing. But I would suggest that maybe you do show up and you do, let's say, look like you're giving it some welly, but make sure he wins.
Arch, darling, we've already got it sorted. He's bringing me along.
That's what worries me.
Exactly.
And with that, Parch turns slowly and says, I'm going to go and start the second half. Don't get into too much trouble while I'm away, and make sure that you are on time for the finale, please. Not like last night. And he walks out and slams the door behind him.
No promises.
Glenda, can I have a whiskey, please?
Marjorie,
well,
what are you having?
Love, I think we could all do with a whiskey after that. And she gets out a whole row of glasses and basically does that really cool thing where like someone like pours the series of shots in one go. And there's
Is that characters taking shots?
Yes, it is. Characters drinking. Enjoy.
I want to see the progress on that crystal, on that skull, after the show.
I don't know if you can see that. I went to the bathroom during the break, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and there are tears. I don't know.
I called it. I said you'd be crying before the end of this.
I was weeping 10 minutes into this fucking show.
Fine. It's all fine.
Oh, let's just sub all the time. Yeah, let's. Oh no! Look at us being a wonderful audience, supporting the people we like and making them cry.
Make them cry. It's all fine.
Also, yes.
You guys-
By the
you
way,
guys-
himbo is spelled Himbo. B-O.
Yeah.
H.
H-I-M-B-O.
Both.
H-I-M-B-O.
Like a bimbo,
H-I-M-B-O.
but a himbo.
H-I-M-B-O.
Sorry, what?
But I don't even know. I've lost the plot entirely.
It's all gone. It's all gone.
It's all gone.
So as we all take shots in real life, our characters also all take a shot of whiskey because why not? Hurrah! And as you all sort of settle down to sort of wait out the next half hour, 40 minutes, there is a very quiet knock on the door of the chuck wagon.
Who is it now? She's. Dax is not very good around alcohol. So wondering, is this with the go way?
Who is it?
Hello, it's Bob Geldorf, the dwarf.
Yes,
Here.
Bob Geldof the dwarf.
Is that one of those that was done in for being a pedo?
No, it's not. It's not Geldorf. It's Geldorf.
Uh.
Geldorfs were not with the circus anymore.
Yeah. No. They're running their own
Tyler.
circus.
Tyler kind of like vaguely remembering hitting a dwarf in the face with a frisbee. Kind of just like slinks behind the bar to hide and like looks up and is like, look, like, I really like taking responsibility for my actions. It's just this seems like a lot all in a row. So I'm gonna stay here.
Milton just kind of like cleans the runny, messy mascara under his eyes and walks over to the door and opens the door.
Okay, you open the door to find there's a very young dwarf. It hasn't even got like a beard yet. It's got like the start of a beard. It's kind of like stubbly.
Baby.
Baby dwarf. And they joined the circus very recently. Like, you know that, for example, in Parch's intake meeting where he meets all the noobs, like you and Bob were in the same meeting. And Bob is like really shy. Yes, I have seen.
Oh no, I didn't
Wait.
keep that in there. Andre, what have you done?
I don't know why that is there, but
Oh, I blame either Andre or Emily. She just has no idea. She has no idea what she's about to do.
I vaguely remember putting it in there like a really long time ago and talking to some of y'all and being like, ha, 6969, nice. But I forgot it was there.
Just some guy in Tennessee has redeemed a point buy for 6,969. And it is for Himbo ASMR.
which now means, Jess, everything Himbo does from now until someone stops is in the vein of ASMR.
I suppose that's what's going to happen.
Oh, I hate this.
Just some guy, TN.
Marjorie, where are you?
Why does that work perfectly?
It's heard scuttling somewhere about my person. I'm glad some of you are enjoying this. I'm very drunk and confused.
That's the word I would use.
Part of me's so out of it right now. It doesn't make sense.
Oh,
And
does
at
that
the same
count?
time-
Does Moosey redeeming stop oversharing? Does that count as stopping this?
No, it doesn't.
Fuck.
No,
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 the
no.
ASMR doesn't stop. That's it for the rest of the fucking
No.
screen.
Oh,
You
no.
are all privy to this.
Oh.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're all enjoying it, clearly.
We don't have a stop ASMR.
No,
We
why
just-
did we not have a stop, Emily?
I don't
Why
know. I
did
think
we
I
not
plead.
have a Stop.
I think I assumed no one would redeem it. I don't know.
Who knew ASMR could be this bad?
I'm stopping it. I'm stopping it. No.
And Tiny Moose, how do I give you those points back? Via rewards. Channel points.
Oh, Jesus
All right.
Christ.
All right, it's been stopped. We'll remove
Yeah.
the nightmare for now. I'm not sorry.
Hublu is going to very kindly reimburse.
Okay. Thank you, Hooplu.
I think in the next
Not
stream we
supposed-
should add a bunch of rewards to stop me
Yeah.
doing creepy.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nazma says
Himbo.
my neck is actually trying to climb out of my skull.
Yeah.
What?
I can't.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. We were all uneasy.
I'm
Oh.
done.
Ah!
Like clowns weren't bad enough already.
It's-
All right, so hey, Bob Geldwarf. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hello, Bob Geldwarf. How are you?
Oh,
Oh, so you're Himbo the clown. I've heard about you.
Yes.
And then out of the front of the shirt that he was wearing, Marjorie just comes up and latches onto his face and he goes, "Well, and this is Marjorie. How can we help you, sir?"
Asked me to come and get a couple, some acts to come and be outside the front of the tent while people are going in after the interval to keep them happy.
Come on in and take your pick.
And he lets Bob in.
I recommend you take Marjorie.
Bob literally
She's
like,
very good at ASMR.
Marjorie is an ASMR.
Close. Close.
She just chooses to look like that.
Oh, I wish. Oh.
Would anyone like to come and welcome the crowds back into the tent for the second half?
I set them on fire while I do so.
I think Mr. Olvurz would rather we didn't set any of them in fire, considering we've already impinged on one man's wife and a dwarf got hit in the face with a flint.
At which point Tyler's just kind of gonna like pop up a little bit behind the bar and is like, yeah, and as far as that goes, it does seem like it might be a bit more prudent if I'm not the one that leaves.
I mean, we could put you in one of the costumes that we've got for, like the characters that we send out when we arrive at a new place.
That sounds like a fabulous idea.
Fantastic idea.
What options are available? Would any of them fit me?
I think most of them would fit because they're designed to kind of like work with the person or the humanoid that they're fit for. But I could take you to the costume tent and we can have a look for something.
Well, it does seem as if this might be a way that I can, pay it forward, given that I sort of set us back.
Excellent. Would anyone else like to come to the costume tent and find a costume with which they could entertain the masses while they walk in with their popcorn?
Let's be fair, the darling of this show
Ooh.
is most definitely Milton, and I do think that people would appreciate his sequins as a nice, loving touch as they come back in, It's something
Milton just-
very pretty to look at.
I quite agree.
Milton just kind of bursts into tears and says, "Not if they're homophobic!" And just like cries into Gloria's arms again.
Yeah, darling, have a Xanax.
Okay, I'm just gonna take Tyler and put him in a costume. If anyone else wants to come, I'm going now. Bye.
And with that, this like little dwarf like grabs your arm, Tyler, and drags you out from behind the bar, past Gloria, and past Milton, and like drags you at like immense speed. This dwarf is very determined to get somewhere very quickly, and drags you out of the truck wagon. Is anyone going with Milton?
Himbo turns to Marjorie and goes,
Go and help them out, darling. They do need help.
and Marjorie just scuttles off his shoulder and follows.
I also follow after wiping my tears, and like at this point, I just have 2 white spots where my eye makeup is supposed to be. But yes, I walk out.
Oh, and be sweet, cute, something the kids will love, not like the dead dog from last time. Not you, Milton. Marjorie.
Doug stays at the bar, turns to him, saying, "Would you like another drink, darling?"
I could kill for one, yes, please.
All right then. Glenda, Gloria, whatever your name is.
You know
I also just-
name.
Sorry.
I just want to
no.
really briefly thank Squeegee Man Zero for the follow, and also welcome Vancouver by Night, because Vancouver by Night is super rad, and I'm happy to see them.
We all do like Vancouver, yes, we do.
It's all
It's my favorite
Full of-
Coover.
It's all full of vans and shit.
God damn it.
Shit really stopped
Yeah.
running about halfway through, I'm not gonna lie. This is becoming a bit of a struggle.
I am quite close to finishing this bottle of wine. It's
You mean bottle of Coke?
Yeah.
Oh, the hooch wine.
Hooch
good try. I'm gonna save this bottle specifically to pour wine into it every week, so you guys can keep having my silly hooch wine.
Yay for the silly hooch wine.
Yay!
Sounds awful, doesn't it? Ah, yes, the hooch wine.
You know what you really don't want? Is when you kind of half cut and dress like a clown and you have the makeup and you look on Twitter and you've got 18 notes of the fucking food.
Oh no!
If anyone is here from Twitter to look at this mess, hi, how are you? Thanks for coming. I'm not scared. This is hard. Everything hurts. Cool.
I really want a message from Paul later on going, what the fuck have you done? Is this
Ruined
going to be every Sunday night
Yeah,
now?
I feel like we're going to get a
no.
sick note from Paul on Sunday morning. I'm really sorry, but Jess is...
I refuse to give this up. This is who I am now. I've never felt more myself.
Oh Lord.
So while Beyblade and I are getting suitably wrecked in the bar,
Yeah. Yeah.
please tell us what is happening with
Yeah.
mascot, Tyler, Marjorie, and
Yes.
Milton. Oh,
Serve.
yay.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, bye! Bye, Jess!
She's gone. She's going for a little... Jess has gone for a little sleep now.
Yeah, we'll be
Little
on in a
nap.
minute. Just give me a sec. It's just things are a bit difficult right now.
Oh, God!
No.
Maybe
All
Shosh
it's
wasn't a good
taken.
idea.
One stream. That's
One
just
stream.
it. Done. One stream. So everyone who is not Blades and who is not Himbo, basically, Tyler, you get dragged by Bob into another very small wagon. It's one of those ones that's a bit like kind of like the kind of wagons that you see in sort of Little House on the Prairie. It's got like a material canvas cover. It's quite small, but inside there is a rail of 6 costumes, right? And Bob turns to you and he's like, so Mr. Tyler, Marjorie, Mr. Milton, I don't know if you want a costume or if you're just going to stay all sparkly and stuff, but we've got these 6 costumes and you can pick one. So Tyler, could you roll me a d6, please?
Sure. La 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 la. D6. Where do you live? D8, D6. There we go. Roll in.
Rolling.
Rolling down the
2.
river.
That is a 2.
That is a 2. Excellent. You have got what to Milton's eyes is a really fucking racist genie. It's bright blue, and it's the one that no one wants to wear because you know how singularly offensive to Asmars it is. Right? Like, it's basically the genie from Aladdin by Disney, but transposed into the world of D&D 5e. It's like basically, so you've got like the kind of like curly tail, it's got like this kind of like body, it's got like a little coat on and a fez. It's like really quite offensive, and basically the way you wear it is that you kind of like climb into it and put your hands in the hands, but you can only really get up to your elbow, so it's got like tiny little T-Rex hands, and then your feet stick out the bottom.
Excuse me? Like, I think this perpetuates a handful of stereotypes, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Well, we don't really have a lot of time to like worry about that because everyone's gone in, and if we're not out there soon, then he'll get. But I mean, you can choose another one very quickly if you really want.
I do. I'm telling you what I want, what I really want, and I want another costume.
Okay.
So can I roll again?
You can roll again.
Okay. I rolled another 2.
God
I'm really sorry, Mr. Tyler, but we're really running out of time, and like Mr. Olvurz is gonna be really annoyed, and I'm really new here, so I don't want to make him angry.
Tyler is gonna go achoo! And as his sneeze is going to accidentally set the costume on fire.
Bob reacts
Also, thank you, Jacklets.
Thank you, Jacklets.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh,
We don't know what's happening either.
We have no idea.
Yeah, we don't.
Very
Songs, songs.
Um,
You've been subbing for 7 months, and so we sing.
Ta-da!
So yes,
That's our-
Bob reacts very quickly, grabs hold of the costume, like does like a full like jump and roll, and ends up wrapped in like basically what you described as like cinch blue fur. And he's like, "Oh, I don't think this will fit anymore. I'll just grab something." And he grabs something. Basically, what he grabs is the front end of a woolly mammoth costume, and then this woolly mammoth is very blonde. Very, very blonde woolly mammoth, very long trunk, all of that kind of thing. Really requires someone of quite significant height to wear it. And then he pulls off another costume and he turns to you, Milton. He's like, "If we're really quick and you both get into this, then we can get out there and we can entertain all the kiddies before they go back in." And Milton, he hands you the back end of a woolly mammoth.
I just immediately I go like, no, I'm not wearing that fursuit, and I just kind of like scurry below the fursuit that Tyler has on, so it's just like a woolly mammoth with leggings.
Tyler, first of all, like looks into the eyes of the woolly mammoth head and is like, "I don't know why this speaks to me, but it does." And then sort of just like shrugs and puts the back of the woolly mammoth costume on, and then is just kind of like, "Okay, so Milton, my guy, I'm gonna need you to just like give me a couple of pointers on how best to handle this so that we are both comforting to each other and a lot of fun for those kids."
At this point, my hands are like on Tyler's waist, and I'm like, I just don't want anyone to I don't want anyone to see my face. So let's just go out there and like go and just perform and whatever.
Marjorie rides them.
So Marjorie climbs, unbeknownst to you two, Marjorie climbs up the trunk of the mammoth, like pulling on with like little bony clawed hands, like grasping tufts of like hair as they climb up, and they sit so that they're just behind your ears. And Bob very, very carefully but as quickly as possible leads you out of the tent, leads you out of the caravan into the front of the big top, where people are now beginning to go in. You've actually missed a majority of the audience. However, there is a very small man and his very tall wife and a series of several children and what could or could not be nannies or staff belonging to a house standing out front arguing about the fact that they haven't got the drink that they asked for, because they asked for beer, and this is clearly not beer. This is some sort of like inferior product. What would you like to do?
Marjorie would like to roll for performance.
Roll for performance.
15.
Excellent.
Okay.
So what you hear inside the costume is, "Hey, look, Marjorie, isn't that an entertaining beast over there? It looks like a real mammoth." And what, Tyler, you're at the front, right?
No, I'm the back.
Oh,
Wait, are you the back or the
I
front?
thought Tyler was the front.
No,
and
yeah,
Milton
no,
was the back, like
um,
Milton was grabbing onto your waist.
No, Milton insisted on being the front, and Tyler was just kind of like, whatever. Like, Tyler was just happy to be there.
okay.
Awesome.
So
I'm the front.
Milton, what you see is this little tiny man, like with a really massive sword and one glove. Right? Like, basically like mince up to you, and he's be like, "Ha ha, someone get a portrait of me and the mammoth." At which point one of the households steps forward with an easel and easel and a canvas and pulls out some paint and starts doing a very quick sketch of this tiny man with this giant mammoth, which isn't really a mammoth, and the whole time this man's like dancing around you. He's like wrapping your trunk around him and all kinds of stuff. How would you like to react?
Just like
I just kind of like I'm like, excuse me, sir, this costume is not for your entertainment. And I just like grab my I put my hand in the trump and I slap him.
Okay, just use a dice just to check something using numbers. Okay, yes. Excellent. Okay, cool. Lightning fast. This man pulls a sword and chops the chunk off the elephant. So what you have left is effectively a mammoth with no trunk and just a hand wiggling out the front.
Can it be Marjorie's hand?
No, because I would usually say yes, but unfortunately Marjorie is on the top. This is definitely Milton's hand. And Milton, what you feel is a very small, very sweaty hand clasp onto your hand, and the figure in front of you leans and says, I will have my satisfaction with you, whoever you are.
Oh, Marjorie immediately drops down from the head where they are sat onto this guy's arm, where he is grasping Milton.
And what happens? Like, what are you trying to do, Marjorie?
So at the third level, sending is sent into this man from Marjorie.
Okay.
Third level spell, sending, and it's just a couple of words. It's 25 words max, but this guy gets 3 words. And from a mouth that does not speak, from eyes that do not see, from nothing about this thing that looks alive, Marjorie says to Foot Cloud, are you sure about that?
Okay, can Himbo roll intimidation check on behalf?
Absolutely, can Himbo roll intimidation? Himbo can roll a 21 intimidation with a 15 on the die.
Oh!
Period! Let's go.
And with the last couple of words on the end of that sentence, I just want Marjorie, just in like a really unsettled, it's not even an Alan Bennett voice at this point, it's just a really angry woman with just rage in her voice. Just, this is my circus. You will do as I say.
So, Marjorie is sitting on this man's arm, who you know to be Foot Cloud of Cloudfoot and Foot Cloud Realtors, and you have in your hand, Milton, you have his hand, and you feel the fingernails dig in a sort of like battle of wills, not hard enough to draw blood, but like you know that he's trying to fight up and resist. However, suddenly the hand lets go and he flicks Marjorie off his arm, and Marjorie lands in a pile a meter or so away from him. And he says, it's not really worth it anyway. We should be getting back in to see the rest of the circus. And he turns and walks away from you and goes back into the circus. And the rest of his kind of like entourage, his family, his wife, his children, the various servants who have come with him into the circus, they look at you all for a moment, and you can
Please, for the love of God, wave. Just wave from the trunk.
And Tyler like shakes a foot, thinking that'll make it look playful somehow.
At that moment, I think like Dags is coming up from, because he stumbled out from after like 3 whiskeys, which is hitting very hard, and just like, what I miss?
As you come out and say what you missed, what you see is a large group of like humans who are all dressed in like Neverwinter, like aspiring upper class robes, right? They're massively overdressed. It's like really garish, really tacky. And what you see is, as one, the entire group go and turn and follow this man back into the circus.
Finally, the respect we deserve.
Imbo moseys out and sees Marjorie in a pile. He just goes, "Oh no, Marjorie, not again." Marjorie is in pieces. He just begins to pick up bone after bone after bone after bone, and just pops it back in his shirt. Just went, strolls off.
I think right after Dag says finally the respect we deserve, she leans over and immediately blows chunks into a bush.
Milton just kind of like removes his head and it's like, I'm tired of not being respected as a performer. What we do out there is art. And honestly, I don't like being treated like an animal, even if I am wearing this mammoth outfit.
Okay. Tyler, feeling that maybe Milton has taken the head off, but not entirely being sure because he can't see, is still like committing to the bit and is down there and is just like, bro, like I get it, but I think we might have made things worse with the cumulonimbus man.
Can you all do me a favor? Can you either roll me an investigation or a perception check?
Yay, rolling things.
Rolling things. Math rocks.
Math rocks.
+0 in both of
baby.
At 22, I am very observant when I am half torn.
8.
I got a 9.
Because I'm in the butt.
You are in the butt.
I'm just I'm just a floozy, so I don't have any intelligence.
No.
Except for in the butt.
Escándalo.
Escandaloso.
No.
Jess, did you roll a check?
I rolled a 12.
Okay, excellent. So, Milton and Tyler, you are too busy like dealing with the girth and the extent of this really, really hefty woolly mammoth costume. So Tyler, you are just very committed, as you said, to the bit, and you are still being a pair of back legs. So you start doing a little dance and hoping that, you know, maybe Milton will work out that you're doing a little dance and join in. Like, you have no idea whether anyone is watching, but you're just going for it because no one's really communicated to you what the fuck is going on. Milton, you are sort of like busy like stamping on the head of this costume and just having a bit of a rant about how you're an artist and no one respects you.
Milton, are we doing the Cotton Eye Joe or like the electric slide? I'm trying to follow your steps, ma'am, but like I don't. Which one?
I just kind of like finished my rant. I'm like, I'm like, I'm going to go to my trailer and redo my eye makeup because I cried because of this homophobes. And I just like storm off to my trailer to like fix my eye makeup.
Before you storm off to your trailer, what you feel is a sudden snap, and Blade's hand is on your upper arm, and she tells you to be quiet.
And then hiccups. Because Blades, what you can hear, so you can hear the very distinctive voice of the head of the stagehands, who is a dwarf called Brillavant Nerling. And he is talking to someone. And it's a weird conversation because what you can hear is him going, look, I can't let you into the circus. Like, you can't interrupt the show. Like, whatever happens, this is not okay. We will take care of whatever it is that you want to do later. But, like, now is not the time. And then a voice which you can only describe as, like, fingernails on a chalkboard says, no. Relevant tonight. And then you hear footsteps.
Okay, I kind of go like I knock out of that. After that happens, I kind of knock Babs's hand off of my mouth, and I'm like, "What the hell, Babs? What the hell was that?"
Trying to get you to be quiet.
Well, it worked, but whatever. What happened?
I assume I heard the same thing as well, right?
Did I hear everything?
You,
Okay.
No.
Who is this guy?
You did not hear anything.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's safe to say.
Yeah.
Only Blades and Himbo heard like a little bit of it, but couldn't quite get the whole conversation.
Have I ever heard it before? That voice, that very distinctive voice.
No, you guys have never
Only in
heard
our
it.
nightmares.
I turn to Blade, Blade.
I've had many different names.
Beyblade, let it rip.
It's Dancing
Daggers.
Daggers, Beyblade,
Dags.
Blade, Bay, and Babs now as well. Apparently,
Babs.
Babs.
I like Babs.
So many.
It's like Kit, but then with
I feel like this is going to devolve into Stabby Blade, knife boy, lady
Someone
person.
said Stabby the Tabby at first, and I was like, yeah.
There we go. All
It
week,
turned to
guys.
Stabby the Tabby.
I've been trying to think of something clever, and then of course you just deliver it right there.
I turn to Stabby.
I will change my name on the character sheet.
Did you hear that? Maybe.
Yes, Sasha from now on will have a different name for her character every week.
I mean, in addition to
In the
the whole
titles.
different voice every time my mouth opens, it will also be a different name, different character, personality. You know what? Who needs consistency? What is this? A show? Is this supposed to be immersive or anything? No, fuck that. I'm gonna make it up every time something new. Welcome to Critical Drinking. I'm drunk.
So,
I turn to drunk and I ask,
I am hiccuping.
did you hear that?
It seemed like something nefarious.
I didn't like that voice. Not here. Not in these grounds. Maybe we should investigate.
Didn't like it in general.
No, you don't like much.
That's fair.
Tyler with like his face like half smushed into Milton's lower back is like, dude, what's going on up there?
Milton just kind of turns around
It's
and
Milton's
props Tyler up.
perineum. That's what's going on up there.
Milton just kind of like turns around and props Tyler up, and he's like, "We're done with the act. I almost got my arm slashed off, and then Babs attacked me with her hand. So I don't know what happened."
Oh wow. That sounds like really stressful. Do you need to like unpack that with me before we get back to the show?
Milton just says like, he just quietly says yes and grabs Tyler's hand. He's like,
Okay,
He
so
takes a deep breath.
they hold hands and he's just like, I'm here for you, bro. We can talk about our feelings. We have a connection, bro.
While Tweedledum and Tweedledee are having this connection, would you like to go investigate him, Mo?
Yes, let's go and do adult things.
Excuse me for one moment.
No.
So Himbo and Daggers / Spade / Pussy
Stabby the
Lagor.
Stabby
the Tabby!
Slash Knuckle Mouse got another one. Pussy Lagor.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. Can we keep this one? I like it
Yes.
forever. Thanks.
Yes.
That's the one. Also,
Thank you,
anyone
everyone.
in the next 5 minutes donates 1,000 bits, I'm gonna finish the rest of this podcast. No jokes. It's
Don't
happening.
donate 1,000 bits because if just
What is
dies,
1,000
will be
bits? I
told
don't know Twitch currency. Is it like if it's like £10, then like fucking fine. I don't care. Seriously, anyone.
Oh
If the
my
next
God.
person
This is the
donates
kind of-
any bits,
This is the kind of dedication to this show that
this is who I am.
I have been dreaming of.
Not a
I
living
am-
joke. You
I'm
know
so
what?
frightened.
Three of you together. like 300
Genuinely
bits.
so scared.
I'll do it. I will fucking slash it to 900 bits if 3 of you do 300. Fine. Someone,
Jeez.
anyone.
Guys, we drink so that you don't have to. This is not an example of drinking responsibly.
No,
Even
this
for
absolutely
money.
isn't. I wouldn't recommend this on any kind of weekday.
Please don't.
Everyone
Please
We've got
don't.
200.
No smoke.
We're in for 200.
Thank you.
Yes. Bring it up.
Jess, that's very much a hydrate from the audience. No, hydrate with water.
No.
Water.
No.
Water. Not hydrate with vodka. Hydrate with water. Right? Drink some. Jess, drink some water. Drink. Jess, water. Water. Jess, water. Water. Jess, drink some water.
Jess has been doing alcohol in all the hydrates.
Oh no!
No!
Maybe
Just
where
some
I
guy
can go
Tennessee,
wrong.
no!
Just some guy Tennessee wants to see you, Jack.
Oh, Jesus Christ! No.
Boy,
As-
the lad. My DM, please, is my favorite person on this earth presently. Could we continue with the story while I continue with you?
I'm like,
You're
do I
only
need
halfway
to?
through, and you're
Okay.
Should we
Should I-
maybe go on a break?
DMing
Should I-
Paul to be like?
I was just about to say.
No. We need to get through this before Jess dies.
Have-
I just need to get to a point where like we can easily kill her off. It's fine. It's all right. Oh God. Jess.
I'm like panic laughing because I don't know what to do. I'm like,
Thank you.
Sasha.
I know, I was like-
Bits.
I'm in
No,
America.
no,
Does calling
you're
999 work here? I don't even know.
Sasha, can you text her housemates and tell them to have kebab on standby?
Yes, ma'am.
I've warned them.
Okay, good.
It's all good. Cool. All right.
Just
So
gonna give Paul a little
Okay.
FYI.
I can go tell him he's fine. He's completely.
Fine.
He was aware when I came into the room with everything that I did as well. This is completely.
FYI, the skull is empty.
The
That's
skull
what
is
I'm
empty, but the stream is 1,000 bits. And I'm really happy for this. Thank you for believing in me. Also, here for the Sunday night drinks for Monday work.
Oh wow. Cool.
Right.
I mean, everyone goes through this on their first stream. Let's just admit that, and then you learn to Coyote Ugly the fuck out of it after that. Right.
I
Okay.
think
So
I'm having an asthma
Anyway.
attack.
I know. I was like,
I'm getting it.
I have a stuffed animal. I need to hug a plant. I'm hugging my plant.
You hug. If anyone needs to hug anything, let's hug stuff, and I will get it back on track. Let's just go. We'll be fine. Okay. So, oh my God, I can't remember anyone's names now. Fuck.
You couldn't before.
Blaze and Himbo, you walk around the corner and you see a blonde-haired dwarf, someone who is reasonably familiar to you. He's one of the longest serving members of the circus, and he is now the head of the stagehand. So he's the head of this like dwarf coterie who basically keep everything going behind the scenes. And he is standing there and he is looking at something in his hand. Now there is no one else to be seen. What would you
So,
like?
something,
who
right?
are we not seeing?
There is no
The
one.
drunkest party
No.
members of the party to investigate this.
It goes off. It goes off to find that which he can.
Can I make a percept?
You can make a perception check.
Okay.
What are you trying to perceive, Blades?
Anything I may not have percepted before?
I mean, I'd like you to be a little bit more specific about that, given the information that I've given you in the last. I mean, to be fair, it was 20 minutes ago now, but there was
Yeah.
information there.
You did say things vaguely
I
sinister.
did say
Um,
things. You will be able to watch this back at some point next week and be like, oh, she gave us
I-
clues.
I never do that, ever.
No.
Dick Turpin has said in the chat, "Mom, take me home. I'm scared."
So just so you know, Jess,
You know who that is, right?
Turpin's
That's
thing is
Emily.
Emily.
Emily is.
Yeah.
Anyway, something about tonight, and being let into the show, and that's all I remember.
I mean, I'm impressed that you remember that much, Sasha.
Me too. I mean, even sober, my memory is mostly like Swiss
No.
cheese, but with more holes than cheese. It's like 10% cheese and like 90% holes. That's my memory.
Okay.
All about the holes.
Did you actually roll a perception check?
I did. It was a 21.
Oh, it's a 21. So for 21, what you can tell is that you can get, you know, Brillavant quite well. He's usually like quite happy-go-lucky, but like when he's pissed, he's proper pissed. Like you can read emotion all over his face. What you can see from what's kind of like going on from him, from his physicality, from his like physical features, even for you because you're a tabaxi, from the kind of like smell that he's emanating, the kind of like pheromones and hormones and all of those kind of things, like you can tell that he is worried about something, but also that there is an edge of excitement.
Oh, so it would be. I'm nearby. That's the feeling I get whenever I walk into a room, is worry, but also a little bit of excitement. I did mean in game, but like, you know, out of game as well. Himbo.
Yep.
Which of us is the better talking to people?
Fine talking.
Like empathy.
Fuck it, me.
I think our friend is worried. Might need a bit of a talking to.
Which one?
That one.
Who is Beyblade talking to? Pointing to?
Whatever the name was that Sarah said earlier.
Hey, Beyblade is talking to Brillavant Nerling, who is
I wrote it down so I wouldn't.
Brillavant.
The head of the stage hands.
Yes.
Yes, there we go. This is why I write shit down.
I'm talking about Brillo Pad.
I would like to approach Brillo Pad.
You can describe to me, because obviously we are all aware of Himbo. How are you approaching Brillo Pad?
Loudly.
Stealth check.
Loudly.
I didn't want to start.
If you roll under 10, you think you're being loud, but you're being really quiet.
That's so mean. I like it. It's like it's a 19. It's a 19 on the die.
You do that thing, you know, when people are like really drunk and they're doing like walking and it's like over exaggerated stomping.
Never.
Can I
Basically
approach?
doing that.
Can I approach like? I do not want to frighten.
We are in your garden.
As you did that, Relevant turns round and screams.
There was no way I was going to win this.
But it's just like, this may have been a mistake.
Story of my life.
I'm aware. I share it.
I have a question. Do Milton and Tyler hear the scream?
Can you guys roll perception checks for me?
Yeah.
Sure. Perception. Do I perceive it?
I got a 19.
That is a I got a 14.
Okay, so for 14, Tyler, you think you hear a scream. It may be an animal, it may be a vegetable, or it may be a mineral. You're not
In the
entirely sure, but
Three.
you are pretty sure you heard a scream. Milton, for 19, you hear a scream, and it sounds like this guy who like runs the stagehand. Like you've heard him scream before. There was an accident a few months ago when you first started, and he was like crushed under one of the beams that supports the big top. And you heard that scream before you recognize it.
Okay. So Milton just kind of like tries to run and then forgets that Tyler was like holding his hand. So he just kind of does the thing where he just like runs and then he falls on his ass.
Oh.
And then I'm like, Tyler, we gotta go, let's go.
Tyler, being over enthusiastic and misinterpreting as always, Tyler scoops Milton up and carries him while dashing in the general direction of the scream, and is like, okay, I guess we gotta go do a thing.
Tyler, can you roll me a strength check?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Why not?
Strength
It's gonna
check.
be fine. I just want to see how strong.
Strength check. 13.
13. So I say for 13, you haven't quite managed to get Milton. Like, what I was really going for is a 20 where you were carrying Milton like that above your head and just like running while still dressed as a mammoth. But like what you're able to manage is that while wearing the mammoth trousers, which is very much what you're still wearing, you're 50% mammoth from the waist down, is that you fling Milton over your shoulder, so like his ass is facing forward and it's very shiny, and so like the lights and the various like candles and torches that light the outside of the big top are like bouncing off Milton's ass. So as you turn the corner towards Brillavant and Blades and Himbo, you just see Brillavant go, oh no, it's so bright.
And then Tyler goes, like, just kind of like pats Milton and goes, good thinking, Milton. If you're shiny like that, people will know we're here to help.
What do you want? Why are you supposed to be getting ready for the finale?
I just kind of peep like from Tyler's back, and I'm like, so we heard a scream and we dashed over here. We don't know what's going on, but we're here to help.
Ah, yes, that's my fault. I was trying
Jude
not
Law
to be quiet.
sighting!
Thank you so much for the song.
Oh,
Jude Law.
shit.
Jude Law,
wait,
thank
wait,
you!
Five more
Friend of the
sounds,
show.
baby.
I need more booze. I've drunk all the
Yeah,
booze.
I'm low on drink myself.
Okay.
No, Drake.
Right. I'm
It's the
drinking.
last-
I'm drinking in spirit. If anything, I drank a lot before, and I appreciate everything that you are giving, and you are a good and a kind person. But for the next like 5 minutes, I'm gonna be really scary.
Jude, Law, the actor, just so you know, she has drunk half a liter of vodka alongside various beer.
700 milliliters. To be
700
precise.
milliliters of
She's a lad.
yeah.
Himbo
Lads.
is Himbo goes no, I was trying to not be quiet because I'm aware that I am more intimidating when nobody knows that I am coming. So if anything, I was attempting a kindness that I have clearly underestimated. What I was going to ask you, dear Brillavant, was the gentleman and/or woman and/or person and/or thing and/or it and/or vegetable and/or mineral that was talking to you before with a voice that sounded like it was from the beyond and/or grave. Who was that?
Oh,
What in God's name was that?
that was just Alice. You know, the animal handler. Fuck, what's happened to the wild Tyson? That was just Alice, the animal handler. No, still no. That was just Alice,
Give up like
that
I
animal
have.
handler, who was trying to get in touch to see that we should very slightly change. Oh, thanks, Jude Law. There was a lot of hydrate there. Jess,
Yes,
really
thank you.
hydrate.
I will go and get some water imminently.
Go and get some water imminently. She was trying to get something with the new animals that she's been looking after into the end of the show, but I said, no, Alex, not this time.
She sounded
What?
pretty resolute. You know,
I
she
mean,
wanted it.
Do you
I mean, she
want
wanted to do it.
Roll a perception check, all of you. Everyone who is here to hear Brillavance.
Brillo pad.
Possibly. Brillo
I was-
pad protesting too much.
Fudge.
I was trying to. I couldn't figure out where my perception
It just
modifier was, and
toppled
I figured out I
over.
was looking at the
I
the chat that we had in WhatsApp where we were sending each other photos. I was like, "This is Georgie's face. What's
Milton got a 2.
What's my?"
Tyler got an 11.
There's a 2, a 10, and 11 so far.
So no one's got shit.
A 4. A 4.
Oh, you know,
Um,
it's the thing where it's just like barely, it was like about to be 18 and they just barely tipped over to 5.
So you all know that Alice, who is responsible for handling the animals and making sure the menagerie that is attached to the circus is well loved and cared for, generally has a very melodic voice. But you also know that she's gone down with this virus that has been sweeping the continent, which makes your voice sound really odd, and it makes it very hard to modulate. It's the Carolina virus, which makes everyone sound like Queen Carolina of Neverwinter.
Okay, then that sounds
Sure.
totally plausible.
Completely plausible.
Entirely so.
Why did she sound so? There's a word that starts with a V.
Vicious, vicarious, vivisection, vasectomy.
Voracious.
Are you looking at you?
Vagina!
You're looking for the word
Vibes!
Why did she sound so
Vivacious.
vagina?
Why did she sound like the House of Vibes? Why did she
Because as we all know, Alice is a raging homosexual, and she probably had her face buried deep in someone's vagina at the time she was calling
I
me.
think we've established it's cunnilingus or something.
We've all been there. We have all been there, my guy.
It's been that kind of evening.
Tyler goes, I tell you what, my man, that sounds totally plausible. I am here for it. Thank you for providing that information, or as they say in Wales, wherever that is, diolch yn fawr.
Yeah, that's. You've just told me that my mother is a whore, but I mean she is, so it's fine.
No, I didn't!
Oh, she begets
didn't.
you, so.
Circus life, am I right?
Yeah, just Welsh doesn't translate well into Dwarvish. They like similar words mean very different things. So guys, I'm gonna need you to go around the back of the big top and prepare for the finale, if that's all right with you.
Oh shit, the finale. I forgot about that one. Yep, sure, no problem. Fine, let's go.
But what
Right.
about the weird conversation?
Milton forgot that he hasn't fixed his eye makeup, so he just kind of grabs some sawdust and sprinkles it on his face, and he's like, "Okay, let's go."
Oh, you look fabulous. You really do.
Do you really think so, Himbo? And I start crying again.
Now not so
Milton.
much. It's just, let's go.
Himbo, with his massive arms spread wide, gathers everyone and just sort of shuffles them, meanders them in the direction of the end of the tent.
Bob
think that's
Geldwarf, who you've all forgot is there, like
Oh, shit,
suddenly
yeah.
produces like a headband with a candle on the front, and there's like a little shiny disc behind the candle, so he's effectively got like a head torch. And he's there going, "Please, this way so that you can go back to the finale, because Mr. Olvurz will be really annoyed. So please follow me this way." And he like scampers off around the back of the tent.
Thank you, Monsters Abound, for the follow.
Thank you so much. I'm out of water and drink. So
I'm
Yeah, out of everything.
I'll save the downing, the thing for next, at the end of the next.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what I was saying. It's fine. It's cool. We'll get there.
10
It's cool.
Downing Street.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a work
drink-
event.
In honor of Larry the cat, who was at every work event but didn't partake.
The true MVP.
Larry the cat, who saw the email but declined to respond to it.
Yes,
So you don't
exactly.
know whether he really attended or whether he was just aware. So
Larry the cat, who
you
was
guys-
secretly the whistleblower who got this whole thing. Published.
Oh my god, I don't know why. At what point in my fucking life did I think D&D with drunk people would be fun? So anyway,
We have got like 20 subs because we are very funny.
Look,
so I think
I'm a fucking delight.
you can
God,
kiss my ring.
you fucking delight. I mean, I believe that Milton already has, but you know, let's put those rumors to
My
bed.
lyra, sorry, my lyra. Kiss my lyra.
Your Lyra.
Mm.
So
Oh, lyra.
To the end of the tent, we go, we march, we get ourselves ready as we are magnificent
Stop.
bastards, ready to entertain some top.
So, entertain some rich people. So, what you do is that you follow Bob Geldwarf round the back of the tents, and he says, if you go through there, everyone's ready to go on. And as you guys walk on, you hear Part, and you go here. I would like to say thank you to our patrons, Mr. and Meister, Cloudfoot and Footcloud, Realtors for Neverwinter, watch for their up-and-coming reality TV show, Ellie Neverwinter. You know, let's give a round of applause. You can hear like cheering and clapping. So I would also like to I would also like to thank our residual patients, Lord Neverwinter himself, who I shall not be named, and you guys can see like a man stand up and a light shine on him and people are clapping. Countess T, and the light swings around and there is an empty seat with just a cabbage on it.
Countess
Nothing else.
T? Just T, not like TEA, so just T.
No, just tea.
Not like Twinings.
No, not like Twinings. Not that kind of tea. That was hot, Jess. I've never been so turned on in my life.
She's a himbo for a reason.
It's between the makeup and the burping is sort of like beautiful.
The makeup and the burping is.
I touched my face and now it's everywhere.
Oh no.
Sorry,
really
it's just a waterfall. You know what I mean? Like
for 1,000
stop
bits, you
this.
get your money's worth. Let's be fair.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 bits. I make it is about £2. So yeah, they really did get them.
Hi, I'm Megatron
Ain't no more
1983. You have missed a lot of stuff.
I'm having a great time.
It's lots of stuff.
Worth everything.
Jess is having a really lovely time on her first critical drinking stream. She's going to have a really horrible one day.
If someone
tomorrow's gonna be rough.
If someone donates another, let's be honest, I'm cheap. 200 bits, I'll go get the gin and tonic.
Okay, I'm going to claw this back from just watching vulnerable people get drunk.
That's my.
So the Countess is a cabbage.
Character sheet.
We have
Countess. The Countess T is a cabbage. This is important plot points, people.
Right,
the Countess T is a fucking cabbage.
But is it a hot cabbage?
It's a fucking hot cabbage. It's one of those
cabbage patch, if you will.
200. Sorry, Burpee. I gotta get the gin.
Does it have a waxy bloom?
And crispy goth. You gotta get some extra, I guess, or something. Oh, thank
I don't know why I need to know this, but I do. It feels important to my character development.
Girl,
I mean,
how fit is this cabbage?
How many D&D streams does like the GM get to the point where they have to scream at people? This might be important to the plot. The Countess
was
is a
one,
cabbage.
and then wait, what's this? Is that a lime?
That's a lime. That's not a cabbage.
It took me a minute.
Tyler is going to
is like a really fit cabbage, just so that
cabbage.
Like really nice cabbage tits.
It's like it's quite large, and it's like someone sprayed it with like a fine mist of moisture. So it's slightly glistening in the light.
Must own it.
And so you know, it's also wearing a black velvet mask.
My God.
Tyler is going to whisper to Stabby the Tabby, just like, has Countess T always been a cabbage, or is this like a new development?
She's always been hot.
Tyler, can you roll me a history check?
Sure. Oh my
It's
god.
an uncomfortable color. It's just bad lighting.
It's kind of beige. I thought it was maybe a
I
lemon.
somehow
I'm also an uncomfortable color. You know what I mean?
Megatron, thank you for the follow. And also,
Thank
I
you,
somehow
Megatron.
rolled a 15.
Oh my god.
Excellent. Absolutely fucking excellent. So for 15, you know, you've been with the circus about 7-8 years.
Zaddy.
Right?
Sure.
And you know that when you started, there was a patrons board outside the front. Like, you remember walking through with your little bundle on a stick. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to join the circus, forget your former life, it's all fine. You remember
the trauma
a list.
behind.
Yeah, no more trauma. I'm joining the circus. Fuck you, mom. And you basically like remember a patrons board outside the front of the circus that had like a list of people. So there were like half a dozen people, and you remember Countess T being faded on the list. Like, Countess T has been there a long time, but you, in the time that you have been in the circus, so there's like 7-8 years, however long you think it's been, you have never seen her. There is always like a penguin in like sunglasses or a cabbage in a mask or something whenever Countess T's name is mentioned.
Cabbage in a mask.
Gotcha.
That was so ominous.
It's the sequel to Cabbage in a Mask.
Tyler just kind of like
I wish.
shrugs and is like, I guess she's a cabbage today.
I know. I genuinely don't know who I hate more as a GM at the moment, Himbo or Tyler. Excellent. So at this point, Brillavan and Bob Geldorf, you see, start doing like the hand signal and like pointing in the direction of the stage. So the hand signal means that you guys all have to get on really, really quickly, and you get on, and there's like absolutely ecstatic applause from the last night audience of the people of Neverwinter. They are cheering, they're throwing cabbage leaves, they're throwing roses, they're throwing
quite
local
rightly.
flora and fauna. Some of them are even throwing like coins. So like you can see like copper, gold, and silver coins just like being flicked from the audience, especially from like the richer people at the front. There are bits of popcorn flying left, right, and center. You guys all stand in a circle around the ring, you hold your hands up and you all bow, and then you rotate, and you do this 3 or 4 times with Hammock and Parch in the center, who are also applauding you, and you can hear Hammock like honking ecstatically, you know, from past nights, like his little tail be wagging, all of that kind of thing. And then the lights go out and you guys know to run off as fast as possible. You all get off as quickly as possible, and the light comes back on Parch and Hammock. It says, friends, we thank you all for witnessing tonight. If you would like to now exit the big top, and remember, tell your friends, tell your loved ones what you've seen here tonight, and next time we are back outside Neverwinter, get them to come. And the lights go off, and the lights on the audience come up as if by magic, and Parch has mysteriously disappeared along with Hammock, and you guys are backstage. You know from previous nights what you will do is that you will go back to the green room for like one final drink, which is what you guys all do, and you know that Gloria will have a line of gin ready for you to go on the bar. You grab a line of gin and you turn to go back to your wagons. One at a time, you're going to go back to your wagons, and I want you to tell me what you find in those wagons. So first, I'm going to go in the reverse order of the performances. So, Milton, you leave the wagon having had a shot of whiskey. How do you feel? Are you a good drinker? Are you a bad drinker?
I feel like I'm an okay drinker, but I know to pace myself.
Excellent. So you start walking across the circus. Your wagon is on the far side with a lot of the other performers. And you sort of like weave your way carefully through the audience. There are people outside having cigarettes. There are people outside drinking, chatting, all of that kind of thing. It's a very pleasant evening. The sky is very clear. It's quite warm. You get back to your wagon. Now, single performers have half a wagon each. Partnered performances have a whole wagon. So because you share a wagon with Anton, you have a whole wagon. Can you tell me what this wagon looks like on the outside?
Yeah, so the wagon is sort of like really old wood that has been kind of like tweaked a little bit by Milton. So all of the cracks in the wood are covered with little rhinestones or sequins. He has a beautifully like knitted rug that he laid out in front of the wagon. And whenever the sunlight hits it in the morning, all of the rhinestones and sequins just kind of like light down the floor, creating a path to the main tent.
So you've effectively bejazzled your wagon,
Yes.
is what we're saying. So
Yes.
you walk up your beautifully embroidered carpet that leads you into, and you open your carefully bejazzled door. Inside, the lights are off, and you can hear the gentle breathing of Anton already in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not a drinker and he doesn't really do conversation, so he's just gone to sleep. You walk over to the far side of the wagon, and there is a small box on the counter opposite you. You open up the small box. Can you tell me what's inside the box?
Inside the small box is a thank you note from one of the audience members, in which they go into great detail about how they ran away from home because they weren't accepted for who they were within their hometown. So they felt that they needed to disappear and start a new life somewhere else. And on top, like beneath the note, is like a beautiful pink rose that they had picked from the rose garden nearby.
Look at Jess's face.
Like, we need to make Jess properly cry, so this is the section where
Yeah.
we do that, just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
So, Milton, can you describe to me like what your kind of like bedtime ritual is after you've looked in the box?
Yeah. So after I received that note, I just kind of like safeguarded alongside a bulletin board I have with all of the like thank you notes and like congratulations stuff that I have. It's like a small like cork board that I like stick pins in. And alongside is like the only thing I kept from my parents, which was like a birthday letter that I received when I was 5 years old, in which they were like, "You're going to be a star, Milton. I know it." Um, After I pin the note to the corkboard, I go over to the beautifully dressed penguins that helped me out. I serve them dinner. I serve them some anchovies, and then I help them out of their small little corsets, in which I kindly and gently open the corset so they can like swim properly in their little pool. And after that, I go into like a sort of like it's like a little bath thingies where I can like wash my face and get rid of the excess makeup. And then I look at myself in the mirror and I say, "You're going to be okay. Tomorrow is going to be better." And then after that, I go to bed in the floor so that Anton can have the bed for himself, because I know that he doesn't share my sexuality. So
Oh, fuck you! Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I was so into that. Like, I was rooting for that. That was fuck you.
No, that's not what I was expecting at all. Okay, excellent. So while a few of us finish crying, Jess, Himbo with Marjorie sitting on their shoulder walks all the way to the other side of the circus. You stop, and as you stop, what you watch is something that everyone in the circus has seen many times before, which is Parch and Hammock walk up to the big top. Parch holds his hand out, and the big top folds itself up. So it folds itself in half, and then in half again, and then half again, and then half again, and then half again, and it folds itself up to the size of a pocket square. And Parch places it in the top pocket of his jacket, so that it is now a yellow and red pocket square just sitting there. And you would never know that it had been a big top. It's one of those things which for some of you is still completely magical, the fact that something so big can turn into something so small. Then Himbo continues walking, and they walk and walk and walk, and they get to the very outskirts of the circus, and where everyone has set up their various tents and various coaches and various trains. And we see a very himbo-esque carriage Traditionally, this would be shared by 2 people. However, there have been numerous people who have moved into the other half of the carriage and then very quickly moved out. So you have managed to get a whole carriage to yourself, even though you are 1 person. So describe to us what it looks like from the outside.
From the outside, this carriage is dark. It is dingy. It is grimy. It is not something that anyone with any sense would approach. It looks bad. Himbo opens the door, the hinges creak. It almost feels like it's going to fall off. But the inside is dark. There's no one else in there, and he closes the door. And as he turns on a small little gas lamp in the corner, it illuminates a ceiling that is a carpet of what looks like tiny skeletons. Each one an identical version of Marjorie. And he takes Marjorie, plucks her up, and hangs her up. And Marjorie falls limp and is no more.
Excellent.
And he just gently strokes each and every one. It's like there are hundreds, but he knows exactly how many there are. Strokes each and every one.
When you finished stroking,
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yes. When you finish stroking the Marjorie, there is a really, really old rug. Like, it's not like the rug that leads up into Milton's caravan. This is like dilapidated. It's very dark colours. It's faded. There's no kind of like no discernible pattern on it. And Himbo bends down and rolls it back. And then using one of their claws, they prise up a floorboard. What's under the floorboard?
And the floorboard, under the floorboard is a small box. It looks pretty unassuming on the top. You open it up, sealed magically, and having uncast, it opens up, and within it are a set of 3 rings, and each of them have a royal symbol carved in, and each and every single one has been chiseled across. The seal is broken, it is no more. And Himbo just contemplates that for a long time. And then lifts the top layer off, where these rings are, lifts that off, and underneath are a pair of very tiny shoes. Very tiny shoes. And he looks and he remembers and he considers, and then he puts the top layer back on, closes the box, and returns it under the floorboard.
And we're going to draw a veil over that, because to make it very clear to everyone watching, no one has ever seen Himbo without their makeup on.
Oh yeah, there is no makeup in here. If there is nothing in this caravan that would indicate a clown lives here. Well, maybe a fucking horrifying clown, but no traditional clown of any sense.
Okay, so Tyler steps out of the chuck wagon / green room, having had probably more than their fair share of the whiskey, because not everyone drinks it, so someone's got to clean it up, right? And you've picked up a bladder from somewhere that one of the clown acts uses, and you're currently using it as a football. So you're just doing like keepy uppies, like happy sackies, style keepy uppies, as you walk to actually a relatively nearby half a carriage. What does your half of the carriage look like?
Tyler's half of the carriage is pretty sparse. It's very bachelor patty. You open the door, there is like a central beam on the ceiling, and from that he has one of those like pull-up bars hanging. There is a yoga mat, a cot, and then in like one corner of a wall with thumbtacks are a bunch of pictures of like his family, like his dad, his mom, his little brothers and sisters, and also like this one movie poster, but it's for like a period drama, like a Pride and Prejudice kind of thing. He really, I don't know, he really likes it. And then he has like this little bedside, like little nightstand next to his cot, and he takes the drawer out and he pulls out a journal and just starts writing in his journal about his day.
Okay, so as you start writing in your journal about your day, there's like a little compartment in the back, and normally this compartment holds anything that you don't want anyone to see. However, somehow over the last couple of days, like the carriage is being shaken about and all that kind of thing, there's something in the back that you wouldn't normally share or wouldn't normally let anyone else see, and as you flick through your journal, it falls out the back. Can you tell us what it is?
Sure. Well, I mean, apart from just a lot of like loose weed, the thing that is very, very special is it's like a little scroll, and he opens it up, and in just the most impeccable handwriting, it says, "From your secret admirer," and there is a phone number, a sending stone number, and Tyler just sweats and has a slight tremble when he looks at it and puts it away. He is experiencing such intense elation and fear at the same time, and puts it back in the little secret hiding space and continues to write in his journal, and then meditates before falling asleep.
I love that.
I'm gonna be back in like a minute. I've got one very quick thing to do. I'll be back in a second. I'm so sorry. One sec.
Hi, Neon Lights Roleplay. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome
It's on a raid. Everyone drink.
Oh, I have no more liquids. And I also have to pee so bad. I might go pee when she gets back.
No, hold it, Emily.
It wasn't me because I got Tanqueray.
Tanqueray.
Shut, everybody. Stabby McStabby.
Stabby McStabby Cat. Right.
Meow.
You walk across the other side, so you witness the fold down of the big top, and you basically walk across. You're super cool, so as it's folding up, you are just in time to walk across completely seamlessly, as if this is no bother to you. You've seen it, you're cool, you're boss, and so literally
at the same time hiccuping
side,
just here and there.
Yeah, and occasionally things which look like they're gonna hit you in the face to the casual observer, you just dodge, and no one is sure if this is drunken master style shit, or if this is just you're so drunk and you're Mr. Magooing your way across the big top as it folds itself up. And you get to the top. You get exactly to the other side, exactly opposite the truck wagon in the green room, and there is half a carriage that belongs to you. What does it look like?
First of all, I meant that it's still half a carriage because I've been here long enough. Honestly, I'm a veteran. I would have burned this place down if it wasn't my only family and livelihood ages ago. But it is, it's looking okay. It's pretty worn. It's been around for a while. It's been with me. It's not gilded, but it's bronzed to give it some glamour because I couldn't have it just look like any other carriage. It just needed to be a little bit spruced up, so I had made sure that was installed. And walking in, there is a fairly lush red carpet inside because I don't give a shit what color moods are. If it causes anxiety, I want that lush feeling. I throw some food that I had brought in from the green room, the chunk wagon. What was it called?
Chunk
wagon.
Chunk wagon's something very different.
Chunk wagon is what I call my arse. Okay.
Dump truck is so broke. Chunk wagon is woke.
I genuinely, I have a group chat that Emily renamed Sasha Dumps Like a Truck. Anyway, that's a real thing. And there's Larry, Barry, and Jerry in this sort of cage that is attached to the side, so they're in their own little separate room, but I can, there's the cage element, so I just like throw them some of the food that I found. Just completely uncaringly, just like looking at Larry again. If you look at me like that again, I don't have to miss.
Ooh.
And then I there's dagger marks in the walls from the practice that I've been doing inside, and a little squirrel in a cage against the wall that I've been using as well for practice. Generally unharmed. I'm quite good at this stage, but it is there specifically for that purpose. Throw a little bit of food as well. And just a series of costumes, a lot of books, a lot of like kind of introverted stage life vibe happening inside.
Okay, so you go to the wardrobe where you've got a whole load of costumes. Like, you don't have a lot of civvy clothes, it's mainly costumes, and you push them aside, and in the back of the wardrobe there is a hole that you kind of like cut out, and you kind of like taken advantage of the space between your cabin and the next cabin to place something in the crawl space. What is hidden in the crawl space?
In the crawl space, it's just actually a small banded agate like stone. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing really around it to give it any kind of significance, but the stone is the only thing left from my family, given to my mother when I was a child before they abandoned me in the woods. And in spite of that, it's something I've held on to all these years. And in the back of the crawl space, there's a little sign that I've written and taped up, which says, you are not a bad person, and that you are enough.
Ooh.
I did come up with this just for Jess.
You bitch.
So all of you respectively in your different spaces, in different areas, you get ready for the bed and you lay your head on the pillow and you think your respective thoughts about how tonight went, whether you enjoyed it, whether you are looking forward to the next place you're going, or whether you are sad to be leaving yet another location, and sort of pondering about your own instability in terms of your life and the things you left behind. And as you lie there with your pillows on your head, with your heads on the pillows,
both,
all of them, pillows on your head for some of them, you begin to feel the wagons that you're in begin to like rock very slightly, and all of you know that this is a sign that all the wagons are magically beginning to connect together to form a massive train, and that the massive train will make its way across the Sword Coast to your next destination. Like, you will again watch Parch set up the big top and again perform to more nobles and more locals, and try to create a sense of wonder and excitement and happiness for them that maybe you're not always privileged to feel. And you all fall asleep deeply, deeply. And then you are all woken up by the most massive explosion you can imagine. The explosion goes off once in the distance towards where you know the beginning of the carriage to be, and you see a flare of lights of all colors and all shapes and all sizes massively spark, and you feel the shudder all the way through the train. Then at the other end of the carriage, there is another explosion, another flash of light of all sizes and all shapes and all colors, and you feel it rock the train. Then in the middle of the train, there is another explosion and another flash of light, and you feel it rock you and wake you up, and each and every one of you sit up in your bunks. And that is where we are going to end the stream tonight, because I'm a wanker.
Like the best
Yay!
kind.
Thank you.
That was really good. Really good job.
Also,
so much fun.
that was so Sarah, that was wonderful writing.
Yeah, it
And
really was.
I also want to take a second to say thank you to Exito Critical Role for rating us and for No Fame Pod and Jackalow Miller
Yay.
for follows.
Thank you so
Dude.
much, everyone.
The thing that Han taught me.
So thank you. We're going to wrap up pretty quickly because it's getting pretty late in various parts of the world. But I want to say
Only
massive
11, and where I am, so it's fine.
only 11. So that basically means Sasha's got to be up for work in about 6.5, 7 hours. Just to translate that for people. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed or resubscribed, who has loads of gifts this week, purely because people wanted to see Jess die on stream.
Still here.
Every week, that's gonna be a gamble now,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and you know what? Next time, you're just gonna have to try harder.
Yeah, the costs are going to go up and up and up and up and up.
Oh my god!
Everyone who
She's struggling.
gifted, everyone who bought cheers, everyone who bought bits, everyone who bought an overshare or an undershare, or whoever the cunt is who bought the ASMR. Thank you so much, because you know how much I hate ASMR.
That is fucking Tennessee guy. That is Tennessee guy.
Yeah.
I will name him by name for that.
I really like Tian Guy, but it's like he hates me personally, and I've taken it very personally. It's all fine. So I want to say a massive thank you to the mods as well. So everyone who's looked after the stream.
Yes, we
Thank
love
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
Couldn't
Dick
agree more.
Spoons
Thank you.
and Hublu, who do
So much.
You guys do so
Yeah.
much for the community
Just-
in general. You guys are fucking heroes, and you know
Yeah,
it.
we know, just do you
Yeah.
guys mind doing a bit of modding? And then they fucking took it and ran with that shit. Not just a little bit of a banhammer. No, they're we're gonna do research. We're gonna find ways to make sure that the community is safe. These bitches next year.
Next level.
Next level.
Next level. And thank you for doing all the things that we are just too technically inept to do. And that includes, so the technically inept to do, thanks also, we direct to Emily, who does all the
thank you.
technical stuff that
Oh,
we
hey,
have no idea.
Emily.
Oh, thank you. It's a team effort. I get my
I'm saying
assets
that-
from Sarah and Andrea.
Yeah, actually,
Andrea.
huge shout out to Andrea. Huge.
Biggest.
Huge. Who could not join us for this series, although we would have loved to have her because she's fucking amazing. But who has taken over, first of all, they've been creating amazing graphics for us since day one.
Yes.
So
Yes.
everything you're seeing, this little swirl situation here, that's all her.
Fucking fit, man.
Fucking fit. Bitch knows what she's doing. I don't even know how she gets these shit. Anyway, and just not just being fuck, I'm drunk. So lovely friend, lovely. No, I can't say colleague. I mean, I guess we do make a teeny bit of money, but that's not the point. It's not a main gig. We just do this for fun, and you guys threw subs at us, so we have to decide what to do with them. That's what happened. So and creator, and now actually doing a little bit of our promos. So some of the Twitter stuff is still Andrea, and we want to give huge love to her because we fucking love her.
We love you, Andrea. And also, if you have subbed tonight, we do have a Discord. If someone could be kind of share the Discord, that would be great. We have a Discord. Join the Discord.
Don't we?
Send us your stars. So things you really loved about tonight's stream. Send us your wishes, things that you want to see in future streams, or alternatively, and I am very seriously considering building this into the flow for the stream. If you have any character art, or you want to do videos, or you want to do clips or whatever,
yes.
I'm very much considering a 1980s kids TV art show thing where we have a viewers gallery after the interval, and we show pictures of things that people have sent us, especially considering some of the shit people have been sending Jess on Twitch and
There's been some epic stuff. Yes.
There's been some
Someone
amazing
photoshopped me into a storm drain, and I'm
Within 30 seconds.
so fast.
Whoever
Okay.
photoshopped Jess into a storm drain, like you have my eternal love and
Their
fealty.
name is Paul.
Incredible.
And they're clearly
I will
a
do
menace.
whatever you ask me in the future. I will 100% do it if you continue just to like put Jess in like various situations.
I'm tempted to try and do like some terrible character art of the entire group, but make it, like
Yes,
macaroni
yes,
and
yes,
dried
yes.
pasta.
Yeah, I want to be very specific. I will not put your art on the stream if it is good. It has to be ubiquitously terrible.
It's got to be shit art,
It's
son.
got to be genuine. And if you, ideally, I would like you to send me your name and your age. So say things like Sarah, 40 years old, on your like picture, along with like a kind of like piece of music. So like if you're an adult and you watch the stream, because you should really be an adult because this is very much 18 plus content. Like please send us your really, really terrible pictures, along with your name that you wish to be identified with and your age.
Sarah, but what if someone sends us something they think is good and we don't, and so we put it up and then by default we are telling them their shit?
I'm going to be judging all of this like it's high art. I'm not going to lie. Like if you send us something that looks like a child drew it, I'm going to be critiquing it like it is abstract art from Dali, son.
Jess is going to properly British Royal Academy the shit out of this. Like it's going to be like it's entering the summer exhibition, and she'll have like a running commentary on it.
Shit, folks.
If
what happens when you run your hands through your like lush, shiny hair?
Yes.
The
presence of the clown in the foreground really contributes to the mise en scène in a way that invokes a certain profundity and reminds us of.
No, go on.
I'm being the absurdity of existence. Really, it's What does it make you think of? It makes you think of Pizza Express Wokingham. It makes you think of.
We didn't need to bring Prince Andrew into this, but here we are, I guess.
Yeah, let's not associate Prince Andrew with Himbo the Clown, who is already creepy as fuck enough.
But you know what? Topical reference. That's the only one I can think of. I saw Pizza Express when I was in London, and I was like, I feel like I've had a cultural experience.
Yeah.
Oh God, red flags parade, an entire parade of red flags.
So we had a conversation about my most recent, like, quote unquote non-relationship. So the parade of red flags has all
passed you by. You were blind at the time. Very thick sunglasses.
I think I heard the word raid. Should we raid someone?
Yeah, let's raid someone. So again, really thank you to everyone. Thank you to gifters, raiders, bits, buyers, modders, all of you.
Really,
like extra critical role.
Before we do raiding people, who can we follow on social media and stuff?
Oh yes, social media
content.
Yeah, do send us recommendations and shit.
Yes,
please do. Yes,
do follow Crit Drinking on Twitter. Do follow me, Sarah Man Comedy on Twitter. Jess,
Dr. Bees. That makes sense.
Emily.
I want it that gray. The color.
Sasha.
I'm trash. Don't follow me. Follow the others.
Nacho. Who
Nacho.
Nacho.
That's not right.
Who also streams and is fucking delightful because Nacho is a very beautiful human.
Absolutely.
Like the rest of us bitches who are totally dead inside, but it's fine. Right, let's raid someone.
Okay. I am going to roll credits. While the credits are rolling, I will prep the raid. We're gonna go see the Crit Show. And I guess,
I love the Crit Show.
We do. Bestow upon them the good luck cabbages.
Yeah.
Talk about the circus.
Good luck cabbages.
And also tell them love to Rev, who is a nice individual who is in the Crit Show. I don't know if it's in this version, but has been very supportive of the stream, good friend. Not necessarily, we have not like engaged said folks into the stream just yet, but they've been very lovely, supportive. So
awesome. Well, lasagna. Good night, everybody. And we'll send you over. Bye.
Have a good one. Goodbye.